What's up, Max? You are back this week. I'm back off a little hiatus. I look really pale, but I don't know why. I was outside a lot, so maybe my
Yeah, well,
lighting's
compared
off.
to me, it's
Yeah, you look like a ghost. It's probably snowing up there now, or
yeah.
getting ready to snow, right?
I heard someone said it snowed here on Monday. Like it snowed in the air, but then it melted when it came to the ground. But I was at home, like at my parents' house, so it didn't do that there. So I don't know. I don't think it has snowed here yet.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, we're not here to talk about snow, and we're definitely not here to talk about Finland. We're here to talk about RC racing, and there's nothing going on in Finland because it's cold. Probably 10 scale. But let's drop that intro and get into some 8 scale RC stuff.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed, Nitro's the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 148 of the No Name RC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and I guess it's official. Now you're more involved. Yeah, you're an official co-host now. Arrogant Max,
Yeah.
Max Mort, arrogant. Yeah, Max Mort, aka Arrogant Max. I think you
I
like your
mean,
new nickname.
I don't mind it. Uh, I guess to me, like the word arrogant doesn't mean much, so I don't really care. I don't know. I don't know how people take that. I don't know if it's like a negative word in English. It kind of is, but
It is.
I
It
don't
is
know how it
very
is.
negative, but it's
Yeah,
fun because you are a bit arrogant. But that's fine because you're pretty smart. Some people are
it's
embracing it.
hard not
Someone
to be
said,
arrogant when you're always right. You know.
"See what I mean?" That's exactly why people call you arrogant Max, just because of statements just like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't know why I'm called arrogant Max. Well, so there you go. Thank you
Well,
for coming
I
on.
know where it comes from. I don't. I'm not
You,
surprised that
but
people
people
call
are
it.
embracing it. People are embracing it, and they like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're officially on. That's cool. You've been working with us all year. It's good that now you're going to be working a lot more. We're looking to revamp the podcast going into 2022, and you're going to be a big part of that. So thank you, and it's going to be fun working with you a lot. We've been working together a lot anyway, but now it's going to be a little bit more official. So thank you for that. Shout out. I just want to, before we get in, I have to obviously say thank you to everybody who supports the podcast. We dropped 2 last week. Was it last week we dropped 2 or the week
Yeah,
before?
we recorded a short one with
Yeah,
me
yeah,
and
it
you,
was
and then we
last week.
released the Joseph,
Yes.
longest podcast ever.
Well,
Well,
not
longest
longest, but
recording.
yes, it took
Recording.
5 days to record that.
Yeah.
5 days and 4 sittings. So we got that done. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That was actually a good chat with Joseph. And I look forward to catching up with him when he gets back to Finland next week. He has one more race left. He's in France, so he's going to some race there. He's probably going to meet up with Felix and whatnot and do something there. And we'll talk more about him because he actually, I think he had a decent show in it. We're going to talk about the Reds GP and all that stuff a little bit in today's podcast. But thank you to all of the NNRC squad around the world. Guys, thank you for the support. We can't do it without you guys. Remember, if you want to even get even closer and talk even more, and it's growing. We got about 110 people in there now. Join our NNRC Discord because I'm loving it. And we're talking about something that we just found out something today that we're talking about in there right now as we're recording this. So you that's where we're gonna, always gonna have Facebook and all that stuff, but the Discord just a little bit more personal, and it will have a link in this written description. Thank you to you guys. Obviously, shout out and thank you to the patrons of the podcast. We can't do it without you guys. You guys got early release of this week's guest, which was Berkan Kilic. Great talk with him. 15 years old. You would never think he's 15. Even his voice is so deep, and he does not look 15. But it was a good chat with him, and he seems very non-curious about a lot of things in RC. And he just like, yeah, I just heard to have fun and drive. But it was still a great chat. And I look forward to talking to Burak. Burak seems a lot complete opposite. He seems to take it very seriously. So I look forward to that. Thank you to Berkan for his time. Thank you to the patrons. If you guys wish to become a patron of this podcast, you can. The link for that is in the written description of this podcast. Every little bit helps, and it helps keep these bills paid, and it goes towards, getting new stuff and, helping me get back doing RC and whatnot. So I greatly appreciate that. Obviously, we have sponsors, and we can't do it without you guys. We're coming up to the end of the year. Hopefully, our sponsors stay on with us. And if you are interested in possibly being a part of this podcast in 2022, hit us up. We have tiers and advertising tiers for everybody. But shout out to Mayako. I know everybody's waiting for this. We have a bunch of questions. Don't worry, we're waiting for it too. I am. Joseph's not on today, so we're not going to be able to talk much about that. But from what I've seen with the Mayako, I can't wait. Shout out to Beach RC. They have their Masters of Dirt this weekend. The track looks really good. Lots of step-ups and stuff. So I think Lucas built it. Lucas and the Beach RC crew. So congratulations to them. I don't know if Max is frozen or he's just asleep. Okay, there it is.
No, I'm just asleep.
So good luck and shout out to everybody that's going to Beach RC for Masters Dirt. That's really turning into a big off-road race. Everybody loves it and has a lot of fun. TNR Fuels, this is another company that came on with us at the beginning of the year, and they have grown immensely. Good to see Chris Nelson. Hopefully, I'll be able to run some of his fuel when I get to California in February for DNC. Shout out to Hitec RC. I'm starting to see a lot more people running Hitec products. That's awesome. I love my RDX2 Pro charger. Hopefully, they can send us some product for giveaways at the end of the year for our Christmas show, and maybe even help us out with a project that we're doing. Yes, Lefty has another project going on. He's got a bunch of projects going on, and I don't know how he does it, but he's got them. So I have another project going on. And shout out to Tekno RC. Some moves coming out of Tekno, I'm hearing. One of these moves we're going to talk about today, hopefully. If this is true, it's possible. So shout out to Tekno RC, another longtime supporter of the podcast. Sun City RC Raceway down there in El Paso. Shout out to the Showers family, Joey, Christian, and Corbin, and thank you for all their support. Lugs Racing Tires, Donovan RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Racecraft USA, of course, RCGP. I hear episode number 4 is being worked on Driven and should be out soon. And then we have House of RC, who is planning a big update, I hear, and has some cool features coming out. If you have not made your profile there, please go ahead and do it. And also, if you're looking for coupon codes, we can save some money with Donovan RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, and of course, Racecraft USA and Lugs RC. We have some coupon codes for that. And that's all in the written description of this podcast. And there goes Max swallowing hard. We got to work on that swallow, Max. And I just want to shout out a couple people real quick. Shout out and happy birthday to one of our patrons, Martin Geely. It's his birthday today. And I want to shout out to my boy, Larry, the Pink Pinion Crusader. Joey Fisher, he is headed to Mod. It's like his biggest race that he goes to every year, and he goes all out for this. And I'm sure we're going to have another Mod versus stock debate with him after this. So have fun. It's going to be interesting to see what hijinks he gets into this year. Last year, he came out in a Borat G-string thingy, like what Borat uses in that lime green one. And yeah, he always has fun at this race. And I also I got a mail call, and I actually left it at home. I wrote this down, but I got a mail call from my buddy Eddie Fikes, longtime friend of mine out there in Las Vegas. He's been making his own dry rub for meat and all that stuff. So I ordered up a bottle of that, and I got it here the other day, and it tastes really good. It's peppery. I love it. And I meant to bring some here and show it. I have it here. And I'm going to do some meat up with it. But you can put it on everything. So I've been putting it like on just when you make potatoes or whatever, anything like that. So check him out. You can hit up Eddie Fikes or it's called Uncle Eddie's Dry Rub, I believe. And I'll put the link for that there. He's a longtime friend of mine, a small business I'm trying to help him out a little bit and get him some business. You know, we support small business. All right, Max. So, yeah, we did 2 podcasts last week, and then I took a little break. I had some visitors here. So I had a friend here, and like a younger nephew. So I was taking him around. So I got to, I was doing tour guide and party life for a week, and I definitely ain't caught up for party life anymore. And when I mean by party life, I was out to 12, not him. And it was fun. It's been a while since I've done anything like that. So it's like locations that haven't been in a long time. And, showing him around, and he's blown away by everything because he's never seen anything like this. Got to see a fight. That was fun. Always good to see a fight. Good Haitian versus Dominican fight. Where the Haitian guy pulled out a knife, and then I was just sitting. I actually had a few drinks, so I had a few drinks. I've obviously broken the tack on that. So we had a few drinks, and I was just watching him. So the Haitian guy pulled out a knife, and then all the Dominican guys were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then they were going to fight. And then the taxi drivers are there, and the taxi drivers are like, the Haitian guys trying to run on the taxi drivers, and the taxi drivers are like, "Hey, get away!" And I'm sitting there like, "Oh wow, this is fun." And I'm watching this, and then like one of the taxi drivers comes. I just put my beer, brand new beer, cold beer, put it right there. Like it was like where you sit is like on a balcony, and they're like kind of just on the sidewalk there, so they can still reach up. I was just talking to this guy, and he comes running, and he grabs my fresh, brand new cold Presidente. I value these things because I haven't drank them in a while, and I'm probably not going to drink again until Christmas. He picks it up as I just put it on, runs off, and then throws it at this guy. And then like all these people chased this guy up to the street, and then the cops came and took him away. So, wow. And then he came back and bought me another beer. So I was happy about that. So
what? The cops let him go?
No, this was the taxi driver, one of the taxi drivers who was chasing. It was like,
okay.
Yeah, once that guy pulled out the knife, dude,
I thought everybody. It was. Yeah, I thought it was the guy with the knife who got you.
No. There. Once that guy pulled out the knife, like that's when everybody was like, "Hey, no," you know what I mean? At first, it was just started as 2 guys that were fighting, and then the other guy pulled out the knife, and then everybody, So
I mean, I can't even imagine this. Like,
oh, it was super fun
over here.
It was super fun. Like it's just like it's just so much. Like this is just this isn't this. Look, people's like Keenan's Lefty. Left is insane. This is just like things. This is the Wild West on her. I mean, things like this happened. I did not feel for my safety at any point. In fact, I was just watching the whole thing. I watched the whole thing unfold. It happened right in front of me.
I mean, I'd get probably used to it if I see that quite often. So
yeah, I've seen
that going out in everywhere.
I've seen worse. I'm seeing a lot worse. Here's real life, man. Here's real life. And people and it's beautiful and it's lovely here, but like that, like anything, it can go bad. Luckily, no guns were drawn in this one because then a lot of times they like to just start shooting and then
then anything can happen.
Yeah, and it was just so congested. So to say all of that, a little bit of party life. Yeah, I'm too ill for that shit. That's what I figured out. And like being out to 12 o'clock was like I was so dead the next day. And like this, and I only drank one night, and then like the other nights that we went out, I didn't drink. But good time. Reminds me of why I love this country and why I'm here, because I can see stuff like that and it's not a big deal to me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I feel perfectly safe. All right. How about you, man? How's university life? I know we got to get on. We got a lot to talk about. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. I have exams next week, so I've been kind of focusing a lot more on studying. But apart from that, nothing major. Nothing major, really. Just life. Life goes on.
Yeah, that's you've been following RC. That's about it, though. That's, you've definitely be on top of RC because we've been talking in our WhatsApp groups.
Yeah. I mean,
and our Discord. You know what I mean?
I open Facebook once in a while and all that, so I can see RC news. So I'll keep in touch. And the Discord actually has been really good. I've been actually really excited. I've been using it quite often, so I dig it.
No, that's good. That's good. Should we go into some questions? Should we get right into the news? What do you think?
Well, the news is let's go through the news. Let's catch up with the Reds GP first. I think that's
all right.
The news story of what we have.
Well, as you guys know, that The RC news is brought to you by TNR Fuels and Hitec RC. Here at the NNRC, we are all about that glory, and that glory is nitro. TNR Fuels is the hottest fuel on the market, owned and operated by Chris Nelson and his family, made by racers for racers. The fuel is currently available throughout the USA, and he is starting up international shipping, so hit him up. I'm actually going to try and get some down here to the DR. For more information or to support TNR Fuels or just to purchase some, go to www.tnrfuels.com or contact Chris Nelson directly at chris@tnrfuels.com, or you can find them on House of RC or Facebook. And of course, we are sponsored by Hitec RCD, one of the longest operating servo companies in RC. Hitec RC is a leader in RC systems, delivering the highest performance and reliability, supported by a dedicated customer service personnel. I believe they have a really great warranty on their products as well. The HSBC 9381TH servos have efficient brushless motors, titanium gears, low consumption, constant output, and a metal case, and they regenerate power back into your batteries upon braking. The RDX2 Pro charger, which I have, can charge up two 4-cell packs in just 45 minutes and provide power for your engine heating needs and tire warming needs. Also, you can charge your phone off it and whatnot. And it's a Bluetooth dongle. You can monitor all this stuff from your phone. I am geeking out on that. And hopefully I'll be putting some high-tech servers in Operation Gasoline, which is coming up soon. And that can go all over Hitec. I know I'm still got to do Operation 115, but that had to be put on the back bench for a little while. Operation 115 still an initiative, but I had to go on the back bench because we had some problems. But we're going to get that fixed. So trust in Hitec, your servo and charger headquarters. Visit hitecrcd.com, where to buy for your nearest retailer. All right, Max. So starting out, let's go real quick. I just really wanted to touch on the Spanish nationals. Congratulations to Robert Bardet, his 14-time Spanish national champion. I thought that whatchamacallit would win this week.
Canas or
I thought Canas would had the championship in the bat. You know what I mean?
No. Barrio already won it in the third round. So Robert won the first 2 rounds and finished third in the third one. So he already had locked in, because I believe Canas had some issue, because they count 3 out of 4. So Canas didn't have a win, so he couldn't make it. So I think that was it. It only was confirmed now because the Spanish nationals have some rule that you have to attend all 4, which is weird. But yeah, that's why it was only confirmed here, because he had to attend the race. But Canas won the race. To me, it's a bit surprising. Like, I wonder, did the engine change mid-season affect any of this? But Robert hasn't seemed like he's been too fast in the last 2 races. Here,
he was good at Buggy Land.
The main. Well, yeah, he was good at Buggy Land, but he still had some issues. Like in quali, he qualified in the B and all that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just that he's been having like some bad luck. Races haven't been going his way or something. But I don't know. Hard to say at this point. You would have to see more to be sure.
Yeah, I think he's also, we're getting to the point, like he's getting up. He's in his 30s now too, I would say. So maybe other things are prioritized over what he had before.
He won his first European Championships over 14 years ago.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Maybe I'm sorry. Maybe we're just kind of like expecting him to be the Robert Bardet of old, and it's really hard for anybody to be that just be that consistent for so long on anything. You know what I mean? And then he's got to also be hungry about this and want to do it and all that type of stuff, which I believe he is. So I'm not worried about that. But man, Canas he kicked ass on this track. Like,
this was Canas's track. Like the type, the flow of the track, the grip level, everything, it matches how he drives. He's very good on tracks like this. So and also the multi-surface style of tracks. I do believe he still runs Sismic, so usually Sismic is really good on tracks like this. Remember Montpellier and all that. Obviously,
Yeah.
their big thing is the polished surface, but I believe Sismic has good threads for tracks like this.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up because this race really had some really great coverage. So I just want to bring up some
Yeah,
of that
that too.
while we're doing it. We're gonna go a few minutes in to do that while we do it. But what blew me away about this, because I actually learned about this in the Mayako Discord. So one of the guys, was it the Mayako Discord?
Oh, non MRC.
No, it was the NNRC. I see that I get confused with him, but he's part of the I believe he's part of the Mayako Discord. So he was like, man, it's gonna be. Remember, he's like, it's really gonna be really good coverage and all this type of stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, so how good is the coverage gonna be? So I really wanted to, I really wanted to pay attention to this week, and so when I did tune in, like I think it was Saturday or Sunday, when I did tune in and I saw the coverage, I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is
this
no
was
joke.
professional level coverage. Obviously, there's some things you would want to improve, like having the names instead of the numbers.
Tenemos
You have it on
ya a un coche
slow speed
que
or
está entrando en
something.
el túnel,
Oh,
hizo una
no.
pit stop el coche.
It's
Oh,
just-
it
it's
just
just
plays,
streaming.
but yeah. Okay, yeah, but this was like multi-camera. The announcer were going wild, which was cool. I
know.
don't understand Spanish, but it sounds like they're on it. So I mean, everything about it. We picked the bats, but it just stuck on the.
Yeah, it will turn.
It's
We'll
stuck on
talk while it's going.
Yeah.
Look at that. Like, that's so awesome. Look at that.
Yeah.
Let's try and get
all
some
the
of the
switches
audio
and-
from the. They got a camera at the end of the straightaway.
Yeah. And
Look at this
yeah, I think
track, though,
the
man.
track, the
Oh,
track
it's so
was cool.
nice.
I think it's sort of like modern meets old school, like in European, because in Europe, like a lot of tracks in Southern Europe used to be sort of multi-surface, but the layout is very modern in sense of how tracks are like these days, and it's not bumpy at all. So it's very modern in that sense, but sort of the multi-surface and the style and what it looks is very old school, which I really like.
Yeah, but it really has some it really flows though. If you really
Yeah,
you
for
really
sure.
watch this, and I love the ash. It has an asphalt bank corner at the end of the straightaway, and the straightaway is
Yeah.
carpet, and then the jumps are carpet, and then oh my gosh, like we kind of was talking about this. I think Ronafalk was like, this was my home track back when I was in Spain, and you know how like we all say
Yeah.
it doesn't have a lot of big jumps and all that stuff. These type of tracks don't need big jumps. They just have jumps that
No,
make you
and-
go fast.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't mind big jumps at all. I think Joe is the best at doing this, but like for example, the jumps at PMB, it's just like so much air time that it's not like fun anymore. It's just like you jump the car into air and then you wait for it to land. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's not faster to do any certain line or anything. But with Joey's tracks, you can like the way you jump the jumps, you can actually gain a lot of time by sort of scrubbing him and all that. So I think Joey does a good job with this, but his jumps aren't very big usually. They
Mm-mm.
are big, but it's not like huge like at some of the East Coast races, like let's say AMS in the past or PNB or anything.
Look
like
at that camera. Look at that. Like, all right. So you guys, if you ain't watching this, if you're listening to this, you have to come watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, what the best thing? Okay, I have to talk about this. This is probably the best coverage I've seen in such a long time, and I could understand pretty much what the guys were saying in Spanish, so that they were making it super excited. My only gripe is the overlay. Like, I just can't. If I don't know the car numbers, we can't see it now. If this and we don't know
exactly.
lap time,
and that will be very easy to add. You just stretch it out a bit. So
this track's
that's
so
a bit
good.
annoying, but yeah, I think
Yeah, look
everything about this was like positive. So I'd be very happy if we get coverage like this in the future as well.
But here's my question, and I just don't understand why this is a national. How come, like, this would have been, I don't know, why didn't Afra, I'm not getting on Afra, so people can shut up before they go to, but this would have been great for Nick and Matt to do like what they've done the last couple of weeks, you know what I mean? And probably had the English version of it, but I mean, honestly, these people did such a good job. but maybe Efra just said, "Hey, let them do their thing." You know what I mean? And yeah, that besides it not being in English, which it's just okay because it's not supposed to be in English. It's for the Spanish crowd.
Mhm.
And the overlay, I'm fine. I love it. Like I just love the racing, the track, concrete curbing. It's beautiful. It's awesome, man. And then we got on a discussion about Spain being the mecca of 8 scale right now. And when you got tracks like this and more, it of course it is. Like this is the place you want to go to just
Mhm.
do 8 scale. I think right now in the world. So
Yeah. I mean, Spain is very. I mean, Spain is the sort of center of 8 scale racing in Europe. It doesn't feel like it online, or it doesn't feel like that in terms of how many fast drivers they have. But the amount of tracks, the amount of racing, and the fact that they can race all through the year, I think Spain is sort of the best place to do RC in Europe, especially 8 scale. So I think
yeah,
that's something that has been sort of missed. But to talk about sort of the live streaming and the aspect of that, I think, I mean, I find it a bit weird that like this isn't done by EFRA, because if the Spanish organization can do this, why can't EFRA do this? Like for more
well,
races, and why can't every just organization work together? Because
why
they
couldn't we
they
have
they
this type of
produce this
coverage from
for,
Buggyland?
yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Like why didn't this happen when Boggyland happened, and why was this only in Spanish? Like it's not taken away from these guys if there's English commentary, and it's not like EFRA could still pay for the footage or something, or they can settle on what they want to do, but it works together. Like everyone doing this by themselves is going to
Hmm.
make it harder for everyone. And I think this was great, and what we need to do is continue doing stuff like this, but then work together with everyone so everyone's on the same page. Right now, everyone's trying to do their own thing, but no one has the resources to do it properly.
I would agree. Um, this was awesome, man. I just kind of was like, wow, I can't believe maybe there was some confliction and maybe they tried to work out something and it didn't happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just, this would have been great to do the course. It's a national, so I thought that was
Hmm.
the plan. But that's fine. I mean, we got it, and that was the best coverage. In my opinion, for commentating and for camera angles. All right, so let's go on to, and congratulations to Robert Battier, 14-time national champion, and congratulations to Canas, who is definitely, his stock has gone up in this year, and he is
Oh, for
definitely,
sure. Yeah.
he is definitely one of. It's just a matter of when he can put it all together and start winning some of these bigger races for Canas, and
Yeah. He's
I look
always
forward.
second or third. I don't know
Yeah.
why that happens, but he hasn't gotten that big win yet.
Well, he did win. He has won Montpellier, and I think Montpellier is going to be a big race this year. So it's going to be interesting to see
I
what
mean,
happens
yeah, but like it's
next year.
always like when he won Montpellier, like what was it? Not this year, but the year before.
Hmm.
It's been always sort of like someone retires from the lead or something. Well, I mean, last time he won, it was pretty good. He
Hmm.
pretty much dominated or sort of led through the main. But a lot of these races where like he has been high up, it's always like he's almost just there. So like he just needs to. I want to see a race where Canas just dominates. Like that's what he could be able to do, but it just hasn't happened yet. The way Ongaro does it is like it's crazy because Canas isn't that much slower than Ongaro,
No,
but
he's
it's just
super
a tiny
fast.
bit that he's like missing something.
Oh, sorry. I made a mistake. That was supposed to be muted. I'm trying to load up the video from whatchamacallit, from the Reds GP. So that was what you
No.
guys heard. All right. Great race. I enjoyed it. It was, I remember just messaging you and saying, man, look at the coverage. Like, it's so great. I even sent it like David and I was like, wow, like, and yeah, just the overlay was my biggest gripe of everything.
Yeah, but I
So
mean, it was their, I think, their first race that they covered with this group of people. So I
yeah,
mean, this was good.
I would say so. Definitely good. All right. I'm trying to have this where it doesn't have any volume, but it's not working. So what we want to do, Now is we're gonna go to the Reds GP here. Let's see if I could get this on a bigger screen. There we go. Oh, that's too big. All right, guys, we're trying to utilize our tools here at the NNRC, and I'm kind of. You would think I knew this stuff by heart, but I don't. Where is it? All right, Facebook, sure, and yeah, let's go.
Well, I'll
here.
start about what happened at Reds GP. So no surprise, Ongara won again. That's what he always does. Just wins.
Here we are. The coverage of
Win
this,
no
just
matter
just
what.
real quick, the coverage of this was really good. The overlay of this was actually much better,
Yeah.
and the only thing that they didn't have as many camera angles as the other people, and their announcing was just from the actual stand. But with the overlay and the scoring, I could follow it, so it wasn't no big of a deal. But
Yeah,
kudos to
they've
them,
done
man.
this
Great track.
for this race. I think this race has been going on since I'd say something like 2016, 2017, but it's been there for a few years, and they've always had good coverage. I don't know if it's the same guy who used to do BT contest live streams, but he has his own website, I believe, and he does coverage for some of the Italian races. So this was definitely good, and this has been here for every year, and the track has been pretty good. Each time they have this race, they have it always at the end of the year, sort of. So
Have you been to this
it's
track?
it's a nice track. Yeah, it's right next to the Reds factory. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I've been here 2 or 3 times, I think.
It's a
And
beautiful track, man.
it's a nice track. It gets really nice when it grooves up like this. So
I'm about to say
yeah,
it looks really polished. The groove.
yeah. It generally isn't that way. It's generally more dusty, but I guess during these races it always gets that way. And this is sort of the home track for Boots, and Valente, I believe, lives close by as well. So
To speak of him, he just
these
showed up.
these are the two guys on the feed as well.
I mean, but the layout is good. It's fast. It has a bridge
Yeah.
that nobody uses because they just jump over it, which is just how bridges are supposed to be, in my opinion, or
Yeah.
or at least arched. I love it. Joseph was here, so it was interesting to hear his take on it. Ongaro just fast. It was Ongaro,
It was
Polito.
Ongaro, and then Polito, and then Valente in third. So Berton TQ'd and he started second, but he broke very early on, like it's 7 minutes into something. So it would have been fun to see his pace. He clearly had some speed because of the TQ. Oh, Ongaro flamed there, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah,
who
that
was.
is him. Yeah,
I think it was Ongaro.
yeah.
Yeah, but Berton had some speed, and he probably would have fought for the win. At least he would have fought for second and third. So that was a bummer to see him retire. But Polito again, to me, this was. I mean, it's not a surprise anymore. But to me, I'm very convinced he's now sort of one of the top Italian guys, like Ongaro, Barufalo, uh,
He just needs to
Polito.
get out. He
Yeah.
needs to get out of Italy, man. That's it. Like, just people just don't know him.
I mean, he's raced outside Italy, but he's only raced like Euros and races like
Right.
that.
He needs to get to America,
That's
man. He just,
yeah. I mean, yeah. When you go to America, you get much more recognition in RC, I think.
And is he driving
that's what he's
Kyosho
probably-
still or Mugen?
He is, yeah. He's supported by the Italian distributor, I believe.
Kyosho.
Yeah.
Okay. But you was just talking about how you believe he's the fastest guy, and he ended up finishing second in this race.
Yeah, I mean,
think,
Ongaro is obviously the fastest, but I think he's the second fastest in Italy at the moment.
yeah. Zenchetin had a good race.
Yeah, he had an okay race, and
Mm-hmm.
I think Valente was good in third and Boots, but as I said, this is a local track for them. Barufalo had
there.
issues with his pits, so like fuel mileage. So he had to pit at like under 7 minutes, and yeah, he still finished fifth. So I guess okay, but yeah, and then Sanchez in sixth.
Well, Barufalo at this point, Barufalo had 1 foot out the door, so he was both feet out the door at this race. To be honest,
Yeah, I mean, he knew what was happening after this main. Like that was his last time he's running X-ray.
Yeah. Beaker finished in, I want to say
Ninth.
ninth yeah. And I mean, look, he was not gonna contend with these fast Italians at all.
No, and
But he did
no.
have a
But
good
I think
battle
it's
with Micha
solid.
Widmeyer.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it was
it's a
solid that
solid
he made
performance for him.
into the main. I mean, it's not a great performance by any means, but it's okay.
Hey, the
It's
two happy things. Mao had a car, had his old beat up Mayako, and Joseph had a newer Mayako, I believe, and they both finished all their races. So and Mao just missed bumping into the final. So good stuff for Mayako. Positive on that. Boots, a surprise. I mean, he's probably turned quite a lot of laps at this track. You expect him to, I would expect him to be at least battling for first at this race.
Yeah, I mean, this race should be an easy win for Boots. Like, this is his home
It should
track.
be.
So it's
And
very odd to see that that's not the case. I don't know what to explain for that, but to me it's a bit odd. Like, this should be the race where he dominates, but he doesn't.
I agree.
So
But the Italians,
a bit
man, they're
weird.
not gonna let him. They're not gonna let English guy come out there and beat him on the end track. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, but
You
like
know?
I'd say Boots has the most laps of any guys on this
Yes.
track.
But you know what this will do? This is just gonna make Boots needs this because there's. Well, then again, he kind of not struggled. When I say he struggled, he didn't have his dominant form that he had in England this year either.
Well, I mean, I don't think
Excuse
he didn't win even one race during the year in
So
the UK.
it's probably just been an
So-
off year for him. And
Yeah.
getting off those tires. He's got to run T Pro tires now.
No, but he was running
obviously-
the Sismic. He was running the same
Exactly.
tires as everyone else
So,
in the UK. So
Yeah, it's
I-
just
I would
weird.
think
It's
that's
weird,
what
isn't it?
is. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him. Like,
Maybe just-
because it's not like he just suddenly like forgot how to drive. It must be something like something is not clicking. He doesn't have the setup right, or something is not right with his race program where he doesn't get those like top results. He's still competitive, no doubt. He's still up there, but just that he doesn't have that. He can't really compete with Ongaro or Ronefalk or the people he should compete with, really.
Yeah, that's the people that he has to compete with.
Yeah.
I would say Canas is the number one S-Works guy at this point. And,
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
easily.
all right. Lots of testing going on after this race too. So Joseph sent some
Yeah.
video of him not driving, by the way. He cannot go that fast. And so I'm not gonna say who that was because I think there's still ongoing talks with that. But all right, well, I think we'll leave the practice thing till we finish up some of these things real quick. We'll talk about that because we have to talk about Marco here at the end.
Yeah.
Kinwald
Should
Classic was
we now like say what happened with Marco, that he left X-Ray and he was released just today. And
Yeah, but I guess is finishing up his contractual obligations. But all right, I guess I gotta say, like what I heard, he had what I was told, what he was testing is a Tekno car. So
on Monday at the truck.
yeah, but he's also been testing this for some time. So it looks like Tekno is looking to branch out into the European market, and they're going to use the Madman Marco
Again.
Barufalo. Yeah, again,
And
they
Italian
tried with
again.
Senchetin.
Yeah.
But I think right now, in stock wise, that Barufalo is definitely faster than Zenchetin. He's probably more known than
for sure,
Zenchetin
but
at this
at
time.
the time when they signed Saint-Chetin, he was at the same level that Barufalo is at now.
Yeah.
And what happened
So-
to him? So
I'm hearing it's Tekno. I mean, obviously I heard he was testing it, but he could switch up and go anywhere, to be honest. Like I honestly think that he right now, like that Barufalo has the ball in his court right now. I think for any team that he'll be a great addition. That could be even associated. I think
I mean, I'd say any brand would really want to hire this guy because he's crazy fast. He's one of the fastest guys out there.
right.
I think, well, what I believe, the reason why he left X-Ray is the car or his whatever he gets from them. I think the reason is the engine, because he's been like, even as I said, he didn't even get 730 here at this race where everyone else
Right.
was getting 730. He's been having flame outs, issues with the engine, and even Ty, almost every race he's gone to this year, he's had a flame out.
Mhm.
So there's clearly something wrong with the engine, at least for these top guys. And I do believe that's the reason why he left X-Ray. But
Yeah,
hard to call.
I think I honestly the way I see this going out is either Tekno or TLR, to be honest, because
I don't see TLR happening because he
really,
used to be a TLR,
yeah, that's true
uh,
too.
and TLR doesn't have pretty much any presence in Europe anymore. They're
Hmm.
all America. Uh, so no, I don't see TLR as an option anymore. Because if you
But if
think
he
about
goes
it,
to Tekno though, I mean, what does it's kind of like, well, like you have Kyle in Australia, but Tekno has a big presence there. You have if you go Barufalo, there's no real preference. There's no real, not in Europe. In England, there's Tekno guys that run and all that stuff. But to be honest,
mm,
like Tekno is not big in Europe. In England, they have some guys that run it,
no,
and it's big there,
it kind of
bigger.
it kind of died in Europe during like 2018
Hmm.
when Sanjichin switched to Tekno. They put a lot of effort into Europe. They had Ilias there, all that. Well, I
Right.
guess Ilias is still here there now,
Yes.
but so they put a lot of effort into Europe and it just didn't work out. People, I guess, didn't like the car or whatever the reason was at that time. Uh, it didn't work out. I guess there's the better chance of it working out this time because the way Marco
Hmm.
drives, but it's hard to
I
call and
I
it's
think
it's
I
hard to
think
say.
Marcos.
And the thing is, hard thing about Europe is the car is not suited for tracks over here. It's it's
Mhm.
it's okay and it can do good in America on some tracks, but in Europe it's really not suited. So it'll be very the event is well he can be really fast and it'll be sort of very specific ones if he moves to techno. But it'll be
But
interesting to
what?
see what they come up with.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing Tekno is the leader going into
Yeah, I mean
this,
if he's
and
driving a techno on the track, I would imagine.
yeah, and I'm hearing,
Imagine that'll be the
and
case.
yeah, and then he's open for engines too, because I also heard that's an issue as well. He wants, he wants to go get more
Yeah,
fuel
I
mileage.
mean,
He needs more fuel mileage. So I think he just can't adjust his his throttle finger. It seems so. It's definitely interesting to. It's interesting. Like, where does he fit into the Techno team? Obviously we've been talking about it for many months now. How we feel that they're going to have to slim down, especially the American team at the
yeah,
end of
I
the
mean,
year.
I don't know how Tekno can afford all these guys. They have
Yeah.
Barufalo, they have McBride, and in America they have Tebow, Bornhorst, Jones, Van Dalen. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think
yeah,
that
Van Dalen's
I don't
probably
think Van
gone,
Dalen's not
but
getting paid. I think that's one of the
yeah,
issues, but he might be getting travel help. So
yeah.
it's and
But I
then
mean, I
and
think Van Dalen
then
is gone from Tekno either way.
yeah, I think he's
But
pretty good.
I
I
mean,
think
it's
he's
really
pretty
hard to
much,
say like
yeah.
what's like.
This is not a
I
silly
like to
season
me,
podcast. We're gonna do that another day. We're just
yeah,
evaluating the
yeah. But I
it's a
mean, yeah, I wonder how they can afford it all. That's
yeah,
why.
I do too.
That's what
Because actually Barufalo is marked on to run AMS, but I did talk to him and he said he's not. So it was just a little bit too, like, flights were too expensive. So he said he'll be there for DNC. But you know what? I think for him coming to like America, when he comes to America, because he does, this is just gonna help him so much. Like, when he
Oh, for
gets to
sure.
America for DNC next year, and if he's with the Techno or even with the TLR team, he's just gonna have support coming. Because he usually just at these races he hangs out at the hot race tent, and even that's grown. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, but I'm sure Techno will win him with them. So, that's gonna
Oh, yeah.
be it's gonna be interesting. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting to
I'd
see what he
say
does. But that's
I
my
mean,
feelings is like I'm 95% sure that he's going Techno. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see a reason why he would be running the car publicly if he isn't going to Tekno.
Yeah.
Because
All
it's
right.
not like weren't people there practicing as well.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Like.
I think he could like Barufalo with his driving style and the
Mhm.
Tekno car. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Silver State next year if he attends.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
know.
wouldn't be surprised if anything that Madman Marco Barufalo does. All right. We had the Kinwell Classic. Nothing. I mean, I know this is just used to be a really big race. It was an action hobby. I think like Cavallari went, Rivkin went. Tommy Hines came off the couch and like podiumed in two-wheel drive mod. But yeah, just nothing really, like, it's unfortunate. It would be nice to see a race like this that's dedicated to a man who put so much of his time into this to just get a little bit more exposure. Mod was there, so I did get to watch some of it, but it just didn't attract the top names, which it's a shame because races like this should. You know what I mean? But it's so much racing going on too.
I felt that in America, 10 scale has sort of, I don't know if it just
Mod
on the
mod
top
is
level.
mod, yes.
No, but I mean, like, because it's not like stock has been big for a while. It's not that stock has sort of gotten big this year. It's just that, like, when was the last time you saw Rivkin race 10 scale if you don't count the well, Rivkin was at this race actually, I think.
He did.
So he's probably one of the only ones. But let's say Mayfield. Last time you saw Mayfield race 10 scale apart from the nationals.
Yeah, he went to the PDR race. He's going to a race this weekend too. He's not going to mod. He's going to some 10 scale race. But it's like he's just doing these races, I think, out of obligation to fulfill his contract. And
yeah, I think Yokomo is out of, like, Mayfield is out of Yokomo.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where he's gonna go.
Continuing.
I think it's gonna do like an AE deal, but through JC or through One Up.
I don't know.
Maybe?
I mean, I don't think Mayfield has really cared about 10 scale for a while. I don't know. I don't know him.
Maybe he says I don't need it. Maybe he says I don't need it, but I think he kind of does. Because that's was a big chunk, or we know that's
it probably is a chunk of his salary, but considering how little big 10 scale races there has been this year, it's like, how many people actually follow the 10 scale nationals? I don't think many, really.
I bet you more people are probably following this mod race, like at Masters of Dart.
Oh yeah, the one happening this weekend at BRC. Yeah, probably actually true. Like the biggest
more people
race
follow the J Concepts race and all that stuff. So
yeah. Oh yeah, like the biggest race in 10 scale this year has been RC race.
Yeah, maybe. Or
yeah, you remember when Fend and Rivkin?
Oh yeah. That was
definitely the biggest race in 10 scale this year. And after that, definitely. I mean, there's been some race people attend, but it's mostly crickets.
Mostly
in terms of, like, if you think about 8 scale, it's like DNC, and before even DNC, you had the SIC. So I have SIC, DNC, PMB.
Silver State.
Then you go into Silver State. Like, all those are huge races. And after that, you had
Nationals.
Nationals.
And Wicked Weekend. Wicked Weekend was a little low. And then you had Southern Nationals.
Southern Nationals was big as well. So now you will have AMS at the end of the year. But there's just a little bit under 10 very big races in 8 scale in America this year. In 10 scale, it's nothing much really.
Well, one where the majority of the top guys attend. That's what you mean. There's been plenty of 10 scale races, but not where competition level that we're seeing in the 8 scale pro side that we're seeing. Yeah. All right.
And I don't know entry-wise, it could be that 10 scale has more entries like every weekend. There's more local racing or something. I don't know. I have no clue.
I think it is. I think it's big on a club scene. Yeah. But it's stock, man. It's stock. It's all stock. And
I don't really care on club level what happens. I mean, companies obviously do and stuff like that, but like, I don't want to talk about club races on the podcast. Like,
I agree.
Who wants to hear about the club? I want to hear Mayfield battling against Cavalier.
Of course. That's what I want to talk about. Yeah, Tommy Hines came out of nowhere. He looks weird. He's got like a mullet and like this big porn mustache. So
he looks like a completely different human these days.
Yeah, he looks like he's
I probably do too, but
but he came off the couch and he got a podium. So congratulations to him. And then I think the other drama was after the fact, one of your teammates or AE guy calling out TLR guys for not helping with the track, and that started a whole.
I read some of the comments. It was pretty hilarious. I don't know what was going on there. Like, what happened?
I don't know this guy. I don't know who he is, but I just read the comments and then I was like, this guy just called out all the TLR guys. And
then I said, people took it, like, bit into it, and it was I don't know, grown man.
Yeah, they were calling
like children.
Yeah, they were calling for his wants us to drop this guy and all this
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. The same people who complain about cancel culture.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he shouldn't have said what he said. I don't know. I didn't
I mean,
read into
obviously, the
much in
whole
it.
argument was idiotic from both sides, so
I would
I
definitely
don't
say
really
that
care.
there's a AETLR beef out there, and it's being
Yeah. Well,
stoked.
I mean, there's like Mugen Mafia hates everyone as well. In America, there's like these cliques that people form, and it's
I
like
used to be a part of
battling.
the Mugen Mafia. I know. So, I was
Yeah.
all about that
I'm
Mugen
I'm
life.
just watching and eating popcorn, dude.
All right. The other big thing that happened this week, that got people talking. I posted about this. Actually, Wally had this up first, so that's where I first saw it. These new shocks, dude. So
Oh
let's
yeah.
bring this up because I know we have questions about this, so we might as well just get this out of the way now so we could talk about it. So we have these shocks. Did you listen to the guy's video? We definitely have to help this guy with his video editing and stuff like that. He needs a little bit more
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
excitement.
I think he does all by himself, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
really
yeah.
care.
But
But yeah, I watched this, but if I'm being honest here, I really didn't have to watch it because I've seen this 10 years ago first for the
mhm.
first time, same design.
So
But yeah,
break it down for me as an idiot. I know he
okay,
wants to adjust
I'll
them with the nut on the top, but just explain how
yeah.
this would work.
Okay, so I actually on the Discord I made a very good very sort of how would you say it? Very like breaking it down explanation about this. Uh I'll I'll find it here so I can explain to you guys as well.
I'm just trying to figure out
So
how adjusting
yeah.
the screw adjusts things. Like, what does the screw turn inside of the?
Yeah, okay, so you can you zoom in on that picture of the sort of the exploded view?
Let's see.
Don't
Let
zoom
me.
in too much, but zoom in just enough that we can see the top portion if you can.
Uh,
Press
I'm,
Control and plus.
see, Control and plus.
All right, now we're talking. So
Learn
yeah,
something
this
every.
is good. This is good. So uh, basically, how this works is there's the shock body, which is just a normal type of shock body, and then you insert this tubing. It's number six on that sort of chart. You insert that tube into the shock, and inside that tube is the shock piston. And between this tube and the shock body is sort of a fluid that's separated from the other side. You see those seals on the bottom of the below the shock shaft? Those will seal the tube so that the fluid outside of that tube, the fluid inside of the tube, and inside is the piston, obviously, will have sort of a different spaces. And the only way the fluid from inside the tube can get to the outside of the tube is through small vent in the shock cap. And the size of this vent will be tuned by the screw. Do you get it now? You're mute.
No, I know. I had to mute it because Liza making a lot of noise outside there.
Oh,
Yes, I get it. It's like a shock within the shock, and then
kind of,
you
yeah.
just you allow the flow of oil with that screw. That's it.
Yeah. And basically,
That's a
you have
lot
to
of
build
moving
it so
parts
that
for a shock.
it is, and it adds a lot of weight, and it adds a lot of complexity, and it also reduces the size of the piston. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of issues with this design in that those terms, but the fact that you can tune it and it still works very much similarly to a regular shock, there really isn't too big of a deficit. But the benefit of this compared to regular shock is the fact that you can tune it. So you don't have to change the oil or change the piston. You can just tune the
Mm-hmm.
valve. It's not exactly the same. You can't get everything that's same out of it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very close. And most likely, when you find the right setup, you don't really have to tune it that much. And these will use very thin shock oil. So the good thing about this is you don't actually have to change shock oil uh, as much if the temperature changes. So if you tune it, which works, and you go to a hotter place, you'll be very close to work, and you just kind of have to maybe tune it a little stiffer. But generally, to me, in this design, this exact design, with no anything added to this, because if you add stuff to this, you can make this really, really good. But with this exact design, there isn't a huge benefit compared to the normal shocks. You can get it, you can tune it, that's cool, but it's not really worth it. And a lot of the times, the fact that the shock piston is smaller and the diameter of the inner tube is so small, it's the same as going from a big bore shock to a small bore shock, really. So if you think big bore shocks are really good, then like why would this work then? Those are the things to consider here. It's a good idea, but as I said, we already tried this in 2011 in France. A company called Expert Model brought out Virus 09 shocks with this exact same design. I shared all of this on the Discord. You can go check it out. There's video of the guy building it. It looks exactly the same. It works exactly the same. There's some minor differences, like the sealing is a bit different, and there's a bladder instead of being emulsion type shock, and the cap is slightly different looking, but it works the same way. So that's all I really have to say about this. It's a neat idea. It's done. It's been done before. It's not revolutionary, but yeah, I can appreciate stuff like this.
Yeah, and this goes into something that we got asked about last week, I believe, about innovation. And we always hear about innovation and how we want it. Well, innovation comes at a price, and that price is $335.99 for two. I actually
the price is definitely steep, but I'd say that's not because of the design. It's because of the fact that he's probably doing this with his own machines and stuff. It's not Chinese made. It's made by his own stuff. He has to buy the material in the small samples and stuff like that. So I wouldn't really blame him for the prices. I think that's okay.
I think if you want to try them, you're gonna buy them.
Yeah,
simple as that. There's all guys out there that like to tinker and that want to do what would be great would be see these shocks get into your hands or maybe Joseph's hands, to see how they really work. You know what I mean? I'm not against this. I'm not against this at all. Yeah, the price is steep, but this is one-off stuff.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
The reason why I'm not a huge fan of this isn't that they're expensive. The reason why I'm not a huge fan is because I've seen this type of stuff before. So it's not like it's something revolutionary or something very innovative. It's not even too innovative at all because I've seen this before. So that's sort of the issue I have with it. If someone comes up with a shock that's much better than everything else and it's a very complex design, yeah, it's going to cost money and it should be that way. It's unfortunate for people who don't have the money to buy those, but it's like, it's the same thing as saying like my kit cost $800 instead of like $500 or whatever. Like, it's like at some point there will be a range where some people say it's too much and some people say that's fine. And every person has their own range of price, and it comes down to how much they care about RC and stuff. And in the end, you're going to spend a lot of money on tires, on travel, all that. So spending $350 on shocks isn't that crazy.
If they work, people will buy them. That's all that matters. They could be $1,000. People are gonna buy them. And people complain about everything at cost.
If you produce these in China, I'd say you could cut the price in half.
Yeah, but then where would the quality be? So
the quality would be close to it. It's not like the quality will be a lot worse. Really, it's just that
they just have to work.
The thing is, in China, you don't have to pay anyone money for doing this. You pay them $1 a day or something very low, and so the production is much cheaper than if you were to do this in America. I believe this guy has his own machines, so basically, he's working like his time is like his pay, sort of.
Yeah.
So
and
he's obviously not going to pay himself $1 an hour.
Yeah, and it's just. They also have to actually significantly work. You know what I mean? It's not just about having they look different and hey, it's something different. Like they have to work and drop seconds, like not seconds, but tenths of seconds off your laps, and you have to be able to prove it on the track. And I honestly think we're not going to see that till we get somebody of a high quality, or even somebody that knows what to look for. You know, some pleb like me isn't going to know what to look for. I'm like, yeah, that work. Thanks. You know. So I definitely, it's something we need to follow, but we're going in the right direction in certain things. It's just a matter of, everybody looks at the price. Well, anything like this costs money, So
Yeah, one thing I actually suggest for this guy is to produce only the shock cap and the tubing for other brands. So you can sell the shock cap, the tube, and the piston, and you can create one for each brand shock body and sell that. So that way, people will only have to buy the shock cap. I think the price was somewhere around $100, because in the end, like the shock shaft, the shock body, all that extra stuff, it's like you don't really need that because you already have that with your car. Only thing you need is the piston, the cap, and the two inner tube.
yeah, interesting concept.
Yeah, but yeah, I
I
think
look
that
forward
would
to
be the
seeing
best bet for
results
this
from
guy
it.
if he wants to make money out of this.
Yeah, there you go. Max gave you an idea. Hit up Max. Hit
Yeah.
up the arrogant one. All right. I think that's it for news. We kind of went pretty long on that. We do have quite a few questions this week. So I think we should just go straight into that. Thank you to TNR Fuels and Hitec RC for bringing us the Hitec news. It was a lot to talk about this week. Some weeks will be like that, so it's all good. Now it's time for the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A.
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Thank you to Lucas and Brent and everybody at Beach RC for their continued support. We really appreciate this, guys. Good luck to everybody that's going to the Masters of Dirt this weekend. It's turning into one of the biggest 10 scale races on dirt. Check it out. It's going to be, I think Mod's going to be there, so we'll get coverage of that. And I think even Scotty's there, so it's going to be pretty good. And he's got this high jump competition that I like. You have to jump up and go over a bar. I like that.
Yeah, those are
they
fun.
did it. Yeah,
you just need to
they
have a
done
good landing so you don't break your stuff.
Yeah. This race is all about fun. They have drinking games and all this type of stuff. So everybody have fun at this race, and hopefully one year I'll get to attend and have the same fun with everybody. So Max, we do have quite a few questions for you this week. Tony Newland of Clinic RC. What's up, Tony? Been telling me some great stories lately. What's Max's take on active rear toe on 8-scale buggy like on sedan? JQ hasn't replied to my text yet and must have got his gears turning. Yeah, JQ probably just saw that and was like, I'll think about that later. And then he'll put it on a car and say, it was my idea.
Well,
that's
JQ. That's his sort of MO.
Yeah. That's stupid. That will never work. Yeah, that's such a great idea now that I thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard to say because in sedans, even in those cars, it really didn't work to start out with and I believe a lot of them run it so that you don't have active toe. You just have the link there, but the effectively it's the same as tuning bump steer. So it's like they tune it so that they have zero bump steer. I believe. I'm not sure if they use active toe, but they have the possibility to do so. In off-road, the biggest issue there is the fact that there's huge bumps. So the toe is it's sort of iffy. I think if you tried it, you could get it to work, but you would definitely have a bigger benefit if the grip level is stable, there's very little bumps, and it's very smooth overall. Then I believe there's a definite benefit on there, but there's so many other things that you have to think about as well. And if you want to do this, for example, it's almost impossible, at least I haven't found a way to get the hub as low as you would need it to be if you wanted to do this, so that it would be light, so that it will be durable, and you get all the other geometry matching what you really want. So I don't see this being usable in off-road, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the big equalizer in off road is bumps and hits.
Mhm.
In touring car, there isn't many. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you always on.
Yeah, in
Yeah, I mean,
off-road you
obviously you
often
hit, but you know,
in off-road you often want to sort of minimize any moving parts and minimize anything sort of active with the car. Because of the fact that like if you hit a bump, like the towing will change rapidly
mhm.
during that time. And yeah, I
You could be
mean
bending tire
I
wheels, all this type of stuff. Like
yeah, I
that's when
mean
people like measure the
I
camber
let's put
with
it
a
this
camber
way.
gauge.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone comes out with a design and it works, but I don't see myself putting in the effort to make a design like that work. I don't see the
Got you.
gain in that to be enough that I would put the time into doing that. So, and the
Understandable.
biggest issue is the fact that you can't get the hub low enough.
Mm,
I haven't found a way to do that so that you still have the uh, well, in front you would call it the steering sort of axis, or the like the caster axis, or the kingpin line actually in the front, what you would call it in the C hub cars, and the drive shaft position. So it's really hard to do so that the height of the hub is correct and you don't have the drive shaft trailing behind or in front. But if you have it in front, that'll be the worst case scenario, so you wouldn't really want to have that.
I know Turner's gonna hit me up when he listens to this, and it's gonna be like, "No, I'm telling you, you could do it this way," and I'll be
I
interested to
mean,
see his
I
answer.
hope he has some way, but
Yeah.
the hub needs to the hub would need to be somewhere around 12 millimeters from the drive shaft axle, and the bearings must be, and the drive shaft axle is at least 9 millimeters thick. So you really have only 6 millimeters to play with here, and trying to get a ball to fit into that and still have enough range of movement, still have the kingpin axis on the center of the drive shaft,
Hmm.
and still have enough durability and all that. I mean, I'd be happy to see someone do it, but I haven't figured that out yet. I've tried, but I haven't.
Okay. Great question. That was like right off the bat, science mode. Right
Yeah,
off the
well, I
bat.
thought about this before. I mean, I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time thinking about this, so yeah,
Yeah.
obviously I know.
Edward PXF, Max or Keenan, what do you think JQ is missing or lacking in his race program to get in the top 10 in the pro races? More time on track, a permanent mechanic, or other reason? I actually have a great explanation and what he can do to get better. He can find a time machine, hop in that. He can go back to when he was fast, forget about making a car and making who he is all this time, and focus on just racing. And he might still be a pro at this day. But honestly, I just think JQ is not slow. That is for sure. JQ is faster
He's
than
not. Yes.
all these people that hate him and talk shit about him. He's probably faster than him, right?
Oh, for
The problem
sure.
with
I mean,
Joseph is
I always talk about shit about JQ, but it's a joke. Like I know
yeah,
he's fast. He's like, this is a guy who went to university and TQ'd the Euros without pretty much any sponsorship, really.
yeah.
Like
So
he's a talented guy in some sense. He's not the talented guy like Ongaro, but he's a talented guy, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs to do well. So
mhm,
it's not like he's actually bad.
yeah,
But if you
he just
imagine
has
like someone,
so much shit
yeah,
going on.
like he has like he works 12 hours a day on a company and then tries to do RC racing on the side, and he's
Mhm,
competing against guys who don't think about anything else than steering a steering wheel or pulling the throttle, really.
yeah.
So it's like it's dumb to, like, I say this all the time, but I'm joking. I
Mhm,
know him. I know how it is to drive. I know how it is to go to university like I'm doing now. Well, go to school, go to work, and try to drive RC at the same time. It's
mhm,
not easy. And if you aren't a crazy talent, someone like Neil Craig who can work and do RC at the same time, or if you aren't like someone, well, I mean, Neil Craig, one of the only really fast
mhm.
guys who've done that.
It's hard,
Imagine
man.
JQ does that and he has his own company to run. He doesn't just run he doesn't just go to work 8 hours a day. He actually has his
Right.
own company to run.
I think people like, if look, this is a shameless plug. Go to his YouTube channel or go and sign up for his Invisible Speed course. And he did that in his spare he did that in the last few months. While, also managing micromanaging, like, I don't know how JQ does anything. Like, and the problem, that's a big disconnect that JQ and a lot of people, he thinks everybody should work like him. And
Yeah.
that's his autistic superpower. Like, he's able to work and do all that type of stuff and see the big picture. But what suffers is he just doesn't get to the track. And
Yeah,
I
it's
told
a
Joseph
strength and a
too.
weakness at the same time.
Right. And I told Joseph too on the last podcast, I said, I think if you just stop, and he always wants to control things. So I said, if you stop trying to control everything in your driving, I bet you, and you just let loose and just said, and stop putting so much pressure on him, he'll do better. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing JQ drive and I'm like, oh, that's wow. You know what I mean? Wow, Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, I
but
bet even
he's also
now
38
at
years
this-
old.
No, but I
and
don't
it's
think
getting
that's
too
the
late.
thing. Like, I'd say even at this point, if you get JQ a mechanic, have someone else take care of Mayako and have someone that he doesn't have to worry about doing all the car design or whatever, and he just runs the car. I bet you he can easily make the
Yeah, he can get
Euros main
faster.
and fight for top 5 and stuff like that, and fight in the world's main even. Because that's
You're
why,
going pretty
how it
far
is.
there, Max. I'm not giving him that
No,
much
but
credit.
I mean, I don't see that being an issue if he actually only focuses on driving and only focuses on that. Right now, what he's doing is he's handling a company, he's developing a car, and he's every time he goes to the race, like even at the Finnish Nationals, all he did was he went to the race and every heat he changed something just to find out how he did. He didn't really care about the race results. Obviously, in the main, he tried to win every time and he really, really tried to win. But like during the race, he always tested stuff. He never had a mechanic, so he always had to like warm up his car, bring it to the pit lane and say someone, hey, you pit me, or he probably like it was most of the time it was one of the JQ drivers dads who pitted for him, but he was driving in the heat before, so JQ would always have to carry the car to the pits and then rush to the driver's stand and then start out on warm-up. Stuff like that messes up with your focus on the race day and all that. So obviously he drives quite a lot, he practices quite a lot, but it's not the same thing as just focusing on driving and all that. And it's a joke to say JQ drives like a grandma is driving in slow-mo, but I mean it's just that it's a joke. He is these days he isn't as fast as he probably should be because of all that we've said, but it's like he doesn't have a race program. That's why he doesn't do good. You know,
Yeah.
like at this point he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have a mechanic. He doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah. I think Joseph's real talent in all of this is design, obviously, but
for
being
sure.
able to see the big picture. And I hope he's getting to that point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna put all my time back into other races and try and, which he does, but he kind of has to put for him to go forward, he would have to put his racing on the background, kind of like what I did, even though I was nowhere near as good as JQ or ever, but I completely stopped racing to focus on team and this and all that stuff because you just can't.
Yeah.
He still has to race.
Me,
he still has to race, but not take it as seriously. Taste it.
Yeah,
You race to
for
prepare
sure.
for your top driver. That's
I
that's
don't
what he needs.
see-
He needs a top driver so he can prepare for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's that, like, I don't see if JQ would want to win races at this point, to me it would be a dumb move. To him it would be much better to get a fast guy driving for the car and have him do really well, and he just sort of setting up the car, developing all that. It's like, why would he like risk everything just for him to do good, and when he can just like get someone to drive the car who only can focus on driving?
Exactly.
And I think he's realized that now, and I do believe he will have a driver next year that's of level of competing for European championships and stuff like that. So
I believe so too.
I
That's a good
I mean,
that's a good
I
question.
think that's what he should do, and I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Chris Trudeau, are European drivers at an advantage when it comes to track setups, given that their exposure to multi-surface types of tracks they race on, such as the 2014 Worlds in Italy? But he says because it had Astro and cobblestone, but he says, but rather the range of surfaces seem to be across the board. The variety of surface types in Europe seems higher than the US, where it seems 8-scale tracks are either higher-ish grip and small pin or loose and somewhat loamy and blow out quickly. Does the perfect track exist, or which track does Max or you or myself, sorry, I got confused, or JQ, but he's not her, feel demonstrates 8-scale racing at its finest? Ooh, that's a good fucking question right there.
Yeah.
What track itemizes for you? It puts everything in 8-scale racing in one.
I don't think there's one track. I think there's two, and those are very different. One track is, let's say, Thunder Rally at RCGP without the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost a perfect track. Something like that. That's the perfect sort of, obviously watered in America. Something like SMB when I was there in 2019. It was Joey's layout. The dirt is, that perfectly sort of, the perfectly symbolize how Supercross is. And I think that's one of the perfect type of tracks that you can have. Tracks like LCRC or PNB or Silver State, yeah, they are cool, but it's not like
LCRC didn't blow
cool.
out. I know what you're trying to get at.
No, I mean LCRC didn't blow out, neither did PNB, but like Silver State blew out. But like what I mean is like those are cool type of tracks, but it's not like the same. Thunder Rally is at least how it was at RCGP. It's slightly bumpy. It has bumps. It's not blown out.
Right, and it has that elevation.
Jumps. It has elevation. It has that sort of low dirt that you can have some like nice roost out of, and it's not dusty. It's not sort of they still have a clear racing line.
Right.
That sort of feel is perfect. When Thunder Rally dries out, it's not that good in my opinion. But when it's wet and doing nighttime, especially, Thunder Rally is really cool, and especially if it's a good layout, it definitely is. Then another type of track which I feel is perfect. That's much harder to say, really, like a perfect European style track. But I'd say something like. Man, this is really hard. I mean, because in Europe there's so much like variety.
I'm a Redovan fan, even though I've never been there, but I just love the track.
I wanted to say Redovan, but I think that's a bit too extreme in terms of size.
Yeah, it's just that's the only thing. It's just too big, but I like that. So
something like Montpellier would be cool, but the grip level there is a bit odd.
I don't think I have a perfect track. I may have a mixture of tracks.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked Redovan the last time we were there for Neo Buggy 2018. But the issue is just that it's so big that I can't really say that's a perfect track. I feel it's a bit too big.
I'll be honest with you. I really enjoy the Buggy Land track, the layout of it.
Yeah, that could be one of those.
I really enjoy going up the mountain, back down the mountain, back up the mountain again. I have to agree on Fonda Alley. Yeah, go ahead.
Barco in Italy. I don't think it exists anymore, but it's a track that hosted the BT contest, and that sort of it's all based on sort of corner speed. It's all based on like it's smooth. It has some like roughness in the track. It has nice jumps, but nothing too crazy. It has sort of elevation a bit. And it's just like flows so perfect. So I think that would be the like perfect European track. But there's so much variety in Europe. Tracks in France.
Well, he wants to know what
tracks in Spain.
What best track demonstrates 8-scale racing. All right. So for me, I do like a little bit of air. So I like to see cars jumping because I think that gets spectators in. But I also like to see corner speed and guys racing. I actually really like the multi-surface of this race the Spanish race that we just looked at. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
really like
Yeah,
that they
but to
had a
me, I agree with you, but I think the issue is like these days those tracks have a little bit too much grip to my like
yeah, I
taste.
would agree with you there. But
To me,
take
like
some of those
it's
features
essential
out of
to
that
yeah.
and add some American features to it, like bigger jumps, maybe like some six packs and stuff like that. And then also have that section like where you need corner speed and all that stuff because
Mhm.
it's true. Like you heard Greg always say, or somebody say, yeah, an American track is a 180 jumps, maybe a 90, stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
very supercross. That's just how American tracks are. That's fine. But I like to see a little mix of I would prefer to see some corner speed too as well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I think to me there's a few different types of 8 scale racing, and definitely European and American is very different. So I would have to
Hmm.
say like that Thunder Alley perfectly describes to me what's a perfect American style track. In Europe it's much harder to say. Every
Yeah.
country is so different. So I really wouldn't do a mix because I
Hmm.
think the features that they do in America really fit for that surface, and the features that we do in Europe really fit for our surfaces. So I think it's sort of impossible to do a combination and say that's perfect. Yeah, that would probably represent 8 scale on all platforms, but that track would probably not be that good. I think you should have to separate them a bit. Uh,
I'm
and
for
yeah, I
whatever
mean,
track. I'm for whatever track produces exciting racing for people to
mhm.
watch.
Yeah,
That's what I'm for.
to me, what I really like about 8 scale is the fact that you can have such different racing. To me, 8 scale represents something like rallying, where you have rallies, you have tarmac rallies, and you have rallies where it's like tarmac with a lot of dust on it. I think 8 scale is just that. It's sort of it can be high grip, it can be low grip, it can be almost anything in between. And I think there isn't really one type of track that can represent 8 scale what it is. I think it
Hmm.
needs to be sort of all of that, and that's why I think it's good that worlds have been in such different style tracks in the
Hmm.
past. I would like to see. Well, Vegas was very American style, but I think it was a bit too blown out. But I
Hmm.
think that always happens at worlds. So, like, if you think of the last world, we had an Australian track, which is sort of a mix between Europe and America.
American.
It has jumps, but it still has corner speed. It has the grip level isn't too crazy. It's sort of in between Europe and America. Uh, then before that, you had America, like a fully American track, and before that, like a fully like old school European track, very high grip, sort of old layout, multi-surface, not too crazy jumps, but sort of very technical small parts on the track, but still a very high speed. So I think the way the worlds have gone so far have been very good. But the issue is, in my opinion, that like to say like what is the best track, it's to me impossible to say. Obviously none of these world tracks to me were very good, but they very well represented the region in my opinion.
Well, I can't wait for next year at Redavon, the Worlds. So all good. Great question. But as Greg Degani says, the Europeans will they know corner speed and we don't in America.
Oh yeah.
That's why he says that people should race on road. All right. Next question is from Jeff Werner, aka the Coach. What's up, Coach? How you doing? Because I know Max has always dabbled with aerodynamic additions to his car bodies. Has he been working on that or anything new in that area?
Yeah, I'll try to make a body for next year. uh Basically same idea what I'm doing now, but just improve it. I'd really like to do a rear wing, uh and sort of front end shock tower slash front wing thing, but that requires sort of injection molding, which is
Hmm.
impossible to me to do. So I'll probably do a new front wing, uh, and I just need to finish the mold for the body shell. Uh, I mean, I won't need it until next spring, so it'll take until then. Nothing major. I think the style of the body I'm running right now, in terms of what's actually happening, all the winglets I put on, so like the style of the body and the outer shape of the body is very close to what I believe is the best, unless you want to do something very dramatic, which then you would have to change chassis, you would have to change wing, you have to change front end, sort of everything around it. I don't see that being worth it, and I personally I can't really do that. I don't have the resources to do that. So yeah, for now, probably a new body, but it will just be optimized version of what I have now.
Awesome. Mike Scorchy, when are you going to get Born a Crime, Matthew Gonzalez on the podcast? When he bumps up to mod full time and runs Nitro and brings me some tacos at DNC, that's when I'll have him on. You got that, Born a Crime? No more stock. And Nitro is the future. Joseph, in my best Joseph voice. Nathan Genda, what effect does it make when moving the entire arm in for toe versus just changing the hub angle for toe in the rear?
Yeah, so I think I've explained this somewhere beforehand, but pretty much what I always felt is when you move the arm, it's sort of like when you move the arm half degrees, sort of more toe in, it feels the same as if you would move the hub 1 degrees. I don't really know why that is. It must be due to like friction in the arm or something about the arm. Well, okay. One thing that happens is if you move the arm, it shortens the wheelbase. But I've at least at some times when I've done it, I've corrected to this. So I don't believe that's the whole thing. But one thing that's very sort of big factors is if you move it from the inside and you add a toe in, you will reduce the wheelbase. You will have a shorter wheelbase from the rear. And if you do it from the hub, that isn't affected. Personally, I kind of like to do it from the arm. I don't see a benefit to doing it from the hub. I tried it a lot with the JQ. I was running 1 degree inboard toe in and half degree outboard, and I was running 1.5 inboard and all that. So yeah, I kind of don't see a reason to use the outboard towing that much. It can add some more feel to the rear end. It can add sort of more trust in the rear end, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. You can play around with it, but I don't see a major like difference. I'd use just inboard towing.
Okay. Evan Osborne, actually, he wanted to ask you about the eliminator shocks. He actually had the same question. The only thing I was wondering about is the very small diameter of the pistons in the inner body compared to current designs and how it would affect it. We talked about that, but Max actually brought that exact subject up. Edward PXF
I actually want to
again.
add something.
Oh, sorry.
I don't mind. Actually reducing the shock size. I would believe that a 14 millimeter shock you would get it to work almost as well as the 16 millimeter one, and you would save a lot of weight. But I haven't tried it recently, so I wouldn't know. And but I wouldn't see that as a major issue. But this is very, very small, so it would be bigger. But I wouldn't say that's the downs. Like that's not the downfall of the shock design, really. Well, there's nothing downfall of the shock design really, but it's well,
That's
it
where you
definitely
have
doesn't add
skepticism.
anything. Yeah, I have skepticism about that. Let's put it that way. That's the best description.
Yeah. Edward PXF, he says, what's a good choice of tire for a multi-surface RC track? Are we racing on a track that has cobblestone, wood, loamy dirt, and some astroturf? I believe he's racing on that Ireland track where Bradley always races. Bradley Beard. Remember, you know that track where they have the paddy piston.
I'm not aware.
Yeah, they have the paddy piston race there, and it's got like it's astro, it's cobblestone. It's actually a very nice track. I believe he's racing there. I have no idea what tire you would run there.
If it's astroturf, you want to choose a bigger pin. Smaller pin tires always.
It's got dirt.
Yeah,
too.
but if it's like dirt with astroturf, try to find a tire like let's say AKA Impact or Proline Blockade instead of gridirons and suppressors, because if AstroTurf is just for jumps, then don't even take the AstroTurf into account. If it's in more than one or two corners on the track, especially if it's on a fast corner, then you would have to take the AstroTurf into account. Every time, the bigger the pin and the bigger sort of the gaps between the pins, that way you will always have more grip on carpet surfaces and AstroTurf and stuff like that. The smaller the pin, usually, if you can't run a small pin tire, it's usually always the best on dirt. So that's sort of the problem here, where you want to balance out the smallest possible pin tire on dirt that still obviously lasts and you can run it, that still has enough grip on the AstroTurf. And oftentimes in Finland, there's a lot of tracks where they have a lot of AstroTurf on it. Oftentimes it would be faster to run a tire that was worse on the dirt, but because it has so much more grip on the AstroTurf, you would lose much less. So, like, there was this track where there was one sort of a long, very slow speed corner, but you needed a good drive out of it, that you could easily lose 2 to 3 tenths if you had the wrong tire. You tried small pin tires, and then you tried, let's say, AK Impact, because I was running AK at the time when the track had this corner. The impacts would be a little bit worse elsewhere, but would be much better on the AstroTurf, and you would have fast lap times because of that.
Okay. Cool. Well, good luck at that race. That's a very unique track. I remember
for
looking at
cobblestone and stuff like that. I don't know. Like some, like, it's the thing is that those are so different. Like, you have a few different types of dirt, you have a few different types of AstroTurf, but like we have like cobblestones, it's not on every track, so you don't really have anything to base it off of. You just, if you feel like your car slippery somewhere, then try something else. But
you just got to
if
work
it's-
through it on that section. That's it.
Yeah,
It ain't no tire
yeah.
gonna stop it. You just got to
Yeah.
work through it. Good luck, man. I wish you all the luck. Danny Fergrasso, will you be at the AMA Manufacturers Cup? No, I will not. But it's always been a race that I've always wanted to go to. I like the format. I like how they do it. I love the tracks that the person builds up there. Michael Woods, what's up, Mike? Hope you're feeling better. Seems JQ is different. Is he on his medication? He's just joking. I just wanted to comment that adding Max has been awesome, and his perspective and views are great. So thank you for that. He likes what you say, Max. Thank you.
Yeah,
Matt. I hope you
positive,
feel better.
positive feedback. I get a
My
lot
boy-
of negative.
Yeah, Arrogant Max. That's what happens when you got a name like Arrogant Max. GF Rami, what's up, G Spec? My boy is running JQ. Excuse me. Considering the current state of Raw, should it be divided into two, an on-road and off-road division? That way there could be separate
No.
regional presidents for each division to better oversee and promote their division. Thanks, buddy. I actually think it should be.
We aren't big enough. I don't think it should.
I just think that on-road
Okay.
benefits off-road dollars.
In America, it's a different story because it really is that way. That on-road, like, a lot of the guys in there are on-road guys, and most of the guys bringing the money are off-road guys. The balance is a bit off. But in EFRA, I don't see that as really an issue because it's very balanced. People run on-road, people run off-road.
I agree there.
At one point, ETS was the biggest series in Europe. So it's not like touring has been small in Europe. Well, now it's a bit smaller, but touring is still big in Europe. So an on-road in general is much bigger in Europe. So I personally, in America, yeah, probably would be better for off-road guys, but I don't see, like, we are so small. Like, let's not divide us even more. Like, let's.
I think it
try
has to be.
keep-
I think it has to be because it's just too much on-road bias stuff in Raw.
Well,
And
change the people then. It's
well, that's the problem we're trying to do. That's what we want to do. I just think that the on-road, like the other big money draw, is actually the on-road nationals for fuel nationals, but it's still lower than the 8-scale off-road nationals.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just think there's too many on-road guys and they're making off-road decisions. And
Yeah,
I just think we need
I'd
to
put it
change
this
that.
way. I'd put it this way. sort of divide the people who are the responsible for stuff. Everything is under roar, but have an off-road president, have an on-road president, and they sort of do whatever they want. And then the budget is sort of planned out across everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best solution you can have. Uh, I think that's what should happen in EFRA as well. To me, it's a bit weird that there's one president and then, well, okay, I must admit, I'm not 100% familiar with if there is someone responsible for purely off-road in EFRA and if he does like actually put any effort into it. Because
I'm
at the
sure there
moment,
is. I'm sure there's an off-road committee.
Javier is doing almost everything in sense of like what's planned for the future. I haven't been in the meetings. I don't know what happens, but to me, it would be better if there was a direct guy who led every class and actually put a lot of effort into it. In America, this is much more possible because of the attitude of people. In Europe, it's much harder to do because people want to have a committee to do everything. So I think in America,
Speaking
this
of
would work out
Javier,
much better.
Javier and Ephra, the Extra Lap podcast had him on last week, and it was actually a good chat. I enjoyed it. Check them out. Extra Lap podcast. Aiden, Martin, and Joey over there in England. It was a great chat with Javier. Go for it, Gio. Run from Raw, man. We need people like you in there. Adam Reevy, sticks or wheels? I drive a wheel, but sticks seem to be a lot more sensitive and capable of smaller movements. Probably for smaller hands. I know that's why Little Bump runs a stick because he couldn't use a pistol grip. I used to drive stick. My radio, yeah, he couldn't. His hands couldn't manipulate it, so he runs stick.
Wow.
I don't think I could. I tried to fly like for me sticks. I thought maybe that might be an option, but it's just not. I would have to sit down to be able to do that. I'm always just gonna have a wheel. I try it or be like JB. JB thought that driving stick radio at Fallbro was gonna make him faster. Well, it made him a whole 28 seconds off the pace faster, and he would not change it. He would not change his. I never forget. It was like, JB, just go back to the brand new spanking M17. No, I'm using this clapped out radio that I just got because I want a stick radio because Elliot Boot says it's better. I was like, oh my gosh. I just say try it. I think it's something that you just get used to. You know, like Ongaro first had a stick controller. Boots first had a stick controller. So they liked
That's
it.
actually
And
not
it worked for
true.
him.
Boots started out with a wheel radio.
Oh, really? Okay, so
He
he
drove
did
it
adapt.
for at least a year or 2 years and then switched to stick.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe for your son, Adam, it might help him out with smaller movements, smaller hands, and all that stuff.
Yeah, personally to me, you can do a lot of the same. Like each one has their benefits. I just driving a stick radio is much more sensitive. During a wheel radio, it's much more sort of forgiven. So that's sort of the major difference between them. In the end, the result isn't that much different. If you drive very aggressively, I'd suggest go to a stick radio. Or let's put it this way: if you want to make a lot of movements on the car, drive a stick radio. But if you want to drive the car around the track nicely, I'd say you're better off with wheel radio. Ongaro does so much movements. Boots does the same thing, and Boots I've seen Boots drive with a wheel radio. He's actually almost as good with the wheel as he is with the stick. So it's not like he doesn't know how to drive a wheel radio. But I've seen him drive a wheel radio, and he does a lot of the same stuff he does on the sticks, but it doesn't look like it on track because the wheel sort of doesn't get all those movements in. And same with the throttle, like the trigger or the lever of the throttle. So I don't know. To me, I would go with the wheel because that's the more common option. It's much easier to get new radios and all that.
Try it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, but if it's the case that if it's a kid driving and he actually can't grip the radio, then yeah, obviously then.
Well, I was thinking maybe he wants this for his son, but he might not. I don't know. All right, we got a few more questions here. Joshua Green, please allow Mr. Arrogant to go full science mode on this one. Explain in the importance of drivetrain, fiction, or mechanical bind.
I made a full video about this, I think. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I can go into it, but it's a bit draining for everyone.
Hey,
So,
do it real
well,
quick
I
because
can,
we have a few more
I
questions
can,
to get to.
yeah. But if you want to find sort of an explanation about this, go to my. You can find this on the part 2 of the differentials video, I believe, and you can also find some topic, and like the big video about exactly drive shaft friction is, I think episode, I'd like to say 13 or 14. It's called Drive Shafts. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's on the series From the Ground Up. It's, you can find the playlist. I've linked it on my Facebook page just today, and all that. So if you want to look at that video, please go check that out. That goes almost through all of it. I missed some parts of it, but I get through all the important stuff about it. But basically, to be quick here, when you put on power, having more friction in the drive shafts will stiffen up the suspension because they want to stick to being straight. They don't want to sort of bend around the joints. So let's imagine you have a lot of angle on your drive shaft and you go on power, it stiffens up the car. But please remember that if you put the hub forward, you will also shorten the wheelbase, which will make your car squat more. So even if the drive shaft stiffens up your car, the sort of support lever of the rear wheels will still squat the car more. So realistically, if you are not the designer of the car, you really can't do this. It's sort of, the car comes with what it comes with, and that's it. Then I'd say like CVD versus universals. CVDs produce a much more friction. They produce this sort of stiff motion in the car much more. What this ends up doing is, on power, the car feels stiffer. You will have better corner speed, but when you go over bumps, especially on slow speed and on power, universal will be much better because they allow the suspension to move up more freely. Then the wear, how the wear affects it. On the out drives, for example, if they wear out a bit, you will have more friction in them, which means that you will get that sort of, you get more corner speed, you will get less drive because of the play, but you will get better feel on the throttle. Especially like when you go into corners and stuff, the car is moving around much less, and you get better feel on the throttle. When you have new drive shaft, there's not a lot of friction in them because they are like brand new, so they're polished surface and all that. So when you go into a corner, the car wants to squat a lot, even if you go on power, and you oftentimes want to stiffen up the shock collar and stuff like that. But that's going to make the car worse off power then. So that's why friction in the drive shaft is actually really important. And comparing CVDs to universals, it has a pretty huge effect, especially on bumps, but everywhere as well.
Watch Max's episode on that and get the full.
That goes into more in depth and explains all like the aspects of it. I scrapped through a few of them, the most important ones really.
The full Monty. All right. Cole Matt Harford. I had a question for JQ. If I were to buy a membership to Mayako, is there a limited number of cars I could buy since there will be a limited number produced? Thanks and take care. I think they were limited prototypes. I don't think they're making a limited amount of cars. I think anybody can join. I
understand that it will be limited amount of cars just because of the fact that they can produce these to.
Okay.
The only way to buy the car is to buy a car for yourself. So you specialize the car for yourself. It's like Silicon Valley stuff here. You buy it on the Mayako website and you specialize the car for yourself, and you get exactly those roll bars, those hubs, those springs, everything what you want to have on a car. You get your personal engraving and all that. You don't have to be a member for that. That's for everyone, I believe. And
well, I think he was asking about the number of cars
that's
you could
what
buy.
He told me.
I know a few guys have bought 2 right off the bat. Because
you can buy multiple cars. That's fine.
So that's part of the membership.
But I think they will produce it. I think as I understand from Joseph and what his initial ideas were, was that they would produce a certain amount, so they know what type of cars they'll produce, they know who they're producing it to, and all that type of stuff. So you really can't buy the car mid-season. And the idea, at least what I understand the idea of Mayako is the idea of this is to keep people sort of on board. It's not like a regular sort of you buy the car and you would do whatever with it. You buy a service or you buy a team sort of experience in a sense. If you're not a member, you don't take part in that. But if you are a member, you sort of that's why you pay for the membership.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that. If you really wanted to get some more information, you could hit up Mike Walker, attorney, Scarcella, or Scott Walker. I'm really not involved in that part of things, so I can't give you any real answers on that. We have a couple of questions
Yeah,
about
and I mean,
Mayako.
I don't say I know anything. This is just
Right.
what the plan was like initially when Mayako was being done.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not too sure about that, but hit them up. I know they didn't sell out completely of prototypes, so it might be able to get in now with that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but definitely the
I have no
production.
idea.
Yeah, the production run starts next year, so I don't think.
I think like to people who ask questions like this, if I was someone who was just having fun in RC and I was interested in the Mayako car, but I didn't want to commit to it, I would personally, this is only my opinion, say that it's not really worth it. Obviously, it's a like this is not about like the car isn't worth it. This is about sort of Mayako to me, what it should be, what I thought it probably will be. It's more than just a car. It's sort of like all of that together. So yeah, I think that's the way it's going. And like if you are on the fence of it, like asking like that type of stuff, uh, it's definitely not gonna get easier when you get the car. I'm telling you that.
I just think you just have to believe in what's going on, and you do it or you
Yeah.
don't. Like I think that's kind of
Yeah,
how
exactly.
I think people
I
just.
think this is sort of this business model that Mayako is doing is a model that you kind of have to commit to, and you get a lot out of it. But if you don't
Mhm.
commit, you don't get almost anything out of it. Whereas,
Yeah,
like the regular more old school brands, the business model is we sell you stuff, you buy the stuff, and that's it. And that's the end of it. So sort of.
yeah.
And
The
and
pyramid
for
scheme.
some
No,
people,
I'm in.
no,
Um.
that's a different model. That's the
Oh,
sponsorship
okay.
model.
Just like if you really want more information on that, maybe I'll ask JQ next month. He'll be on next week. I just can't. I don't know really how that works. I just when anybody has any questions like that, I just kind of pass it off to the guys that know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my rule in that. And then we have a couple of questions. When has anybody received the Mayakos? Nope, nobody's received them yet. And when will they be available in Europe? Next year, I guess. So hopefully hopefully people get theirs. I know I want mine soon. Matthew Parsi. What's up, Math? How is Jack doing? That's Team Parsi down in Australia. Very nice father son team. Very good people running JQ. I have a lot of love for him and his son. Jack's definitely getting faster as well. What will raising the upper link on the hub do? What will raising the rear upper link on the hub but not raising it on the tower do? And when could this potentially be an option?
Well, this raises the roll center, raising on the hub and staying same on the tower, right? That was what he asked.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me see again. Uh, raising the rear upper link on the hub, but not raising it on the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what you're doing here, you are raising the roll center here, which means that your car sort of, well, if you watch the invisible speed or my roll center explanation video, which is free and on YouTube at from the ground up playlist, you can find it. Or if you want to pay $350 and look at JK's videos, you can do that as well.
I think he
But
might have this though already on there,
huh?
like links. He might have done
Uh,
links or something. A link
he did
video.
jacking for us, but it's a bit
Yeah.
different thing.
Okay.
But basically, what you do with this, you raise the roll center. It stiffens up the car, but actually, what it's doing, it's sort of it's putting more force on the outer tire more quickly. less force through the shock. So you will reduce roll in the car. And on top of that, what you will have is as the link is higher on the hub, the sort of the angle change of the, how do you put it, when the car rolls into a corner, the angle of the tire doesn't change as much. So the angle of the tire stays more stood up. This means that your car will be more a bit more calm. It will sort of calm down the car, but it will also mean that you might lose some grip, but you will gain in sort of comfort in the car. So personally, like this as an individual change on the car isn't really a key thing to know what it does, because if your roll center is set correctly and your car rolls nicely, and you just want to raise the link altogether, that to me is a pretty good tuning option. If you raise the whole link from the inside and the outside, you get more confident in the car without affecting, well, you will slightly affect the roll center, but the effect on roll center will be very small compared to what you would do, what you're doing here. So you will get sort of the comfort effect that way. And if you go down, you will get sort of the stiffness and the slightly added grip effect on the car, and the angle change on the tire will be sort of a bit quicker if you have the link lower on the hub. But if you keep the link lower as well, then the roll center change won't be affected as much. So this is something that you sort of have to know. You have to watch the camber gain video, you have to watch the roll center video, and you have to know how the links work in there to sort of understand the whole thing. Because if your roll center is too low and you raise the link on the hub, your car might be better because the angle change on the tire isn't as aggressive, and you get comfort. Or your car might be better because of the roll center is too low, and now you raise the roll centers. Now it's about there where it should be. So like you kind of need to know where you're at to start out with before you make changes like this. And it's very complicated unless you sort of know where you are. When you know where you are, it's not very complicated anymore.
Yeah, you just complicated my life with that answer. So, because you ran into certain size mode, and when you do that,
Yeah,
I blank out. It's funny
but
because
to
I was getting some
understand
messages.
concepts like this, it's
visual.
You really have to pay the
Probably should have had your
350 and
video
watch
up on her,
JQ's
innit?
videos.
Yeah, we probably
Yeah,
should have
my
your video
videos
up.
my videos explain these pretty well as well, but I try to keep it so that people can still grasp what's going on, and I don't want to make it so that it's like 30 minutes long, and I don't have the time. JQ, that's why JQ's courses cost money, because he spent a lot of time to do it.
Hey man, if you make it that I can understand it, then anybody can. That's your litmus test. If Lefty can understand it, then anybody can.
I mean, then I can't really explain anything about RC cars.
All right, we have we have one more question, and it's from our Instagram question. If you ain't following us on Instagram, please do. We also have a TikTok, YouTube channel, and all that good stuff. So follow us there and give us some subs.
We have a TikTok?
Yeah, we have a TikTok.
Wow.
You mean checking out my TikTok videos? Yeah, man.
I don't have TikTok. I don't want Chinese spying on me.
Well, I'll tell you what, it definitely does get addictive. I've found myself spending like an hour just flicking through it. Checkered Past 503. Does Max have a preferred European track or favorite European track? We kind of went over that. So
we kind of did. I'd say Barco in Italy.
Okay.
That'd be my.
He says,
it doesn't exist anymore.
This is a good question, but I'm going to add something to this. He asked, what is on his bucket list of tracks to visit? And I would put into that, what even tracks that don't exist anymore?
Yeah, okay. This is actually a good question. Tracks that don't exist anymore.
No, that was my added twist to the question. He said, what's your bucket list track? Put one that's existing now, and then put one that you probably would have liked to have visited back in the day.
Dang, I mean, I visited almost all the tracks I really like. Well, I'd say Montpellier. I'm not eager
Mm,
to go there for the track, but I want to attend the event at least at
mhm.
some point in my life. Um, I had a chance to run at Neo. I ran at like Redovan and
Did you run
stuff
at
like
Neo
that.
in
Yeah, the actual
England?
Neo, like the yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So luckily, it was the last one. I luckily went that year.
You've
Um,
done a lot for 19 years old, right? RC wise.
yeah, I mean, yeah, huge thanks to Joseph and my parents for that. uh,
You've done a lot of come to
dude,
think of it,
yeah,
you've done pretty much all the you haven't done like a US Nationals, you haven't done like a Silver State,
okay.
but you've done quite a
I
few
want to
races.
do. I would like from races that don't exist anymore, like the old school Silver State. Something like that would be cool. Like some the tracks like Degani always talks about. Something like that.
I would
Because
like
that's so
people,
crazy. Like I would have probably enjoy it, but I would just like to be there and say I was there.
it's
Um,
like we always talk about Hemet. Hemet was so cool and all, but it was so
yeah,
small.
I've never seen how
It was
it
like
was, but
it was so small, and then when you get there, you're like, "This is Hemet." Like, you like is this small little track? This is what
yeah. But
everybody raves
if you
about.
think about it, I've actually attended almost like all the cool tracks that I think were nice and cool to attend. Like I've been to DNC, I've been to PNB, I've been to
Thunder Alley,
Manila,
you've been Thunder Alley, you've been Santa
Thunder
Barbara, you've
Alley.
been GABRL, you've done, you've been to
Dude,
Proline, you've been to Rev, you've been to a lot of the iconic races. You've been to
I've never been to
PNB. That's
Rev actually, but
oh, you
that's
haven't.
not like I guess that would be something like I could say I've been to Rev, but I haven't thought that Rev was a cool track in a long time really. Uh,
It's convenient. That's why people like it.
yeah, it's yeah, it's but yeah. Let's put it that way. It's convenient. Um, dude, like there really isn't a track I would really wish to go to.
Well, I want to go to Redavon, and if I could go to any
Yeah,
track from any time right now, I would go to the 2010 Worlds in Thailand.
that was one I thought about, but I don't really like tracks like that. The thing is,
I'm
like
not worried
I
about
could
the
say, like
track. I want to go to the
yeah,
event.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Like if yeah, okay, like events, yeah, obviously I would like to attend an old Silver State, old DNC, like very old DNC, and I would like to attend like Pattaya Worlds, uh 2006 Worlds in Indonesia, something like that. I would like to attend. Why not the Worlds in Charlotte? I didn't really like the track then, but like
I like the track in Charlotte. I raced, well, not on that particular one, but I raced on that track,
yeah,
and it was probably at that time the biggest track I'd ever raced on, and I enjoyed it. I loved it.
yeah. To me, really, there isn't like a bucket list track that still exists today.
All of them. I just want to go to all of them. There we go.
Dude, is my RC career over now? I don't really want to go to any track anymore. I don't have a
Well,
bucket. My bucket list is full.
Greg had a question for you guys. How does it feel now that you're never gonna travel out of Finland to race RC cars again? I don't think
I
that
can travel out
affects
of
you.
Finland.
He just thinks you're right. I also, yeah, you know how Greg is. He's just teasing you. Yeah, I don't know, man. For me personally, though, honestly, I would love to. I've been to two nationals. That was two bucket lists, two races off my list that I wanted to go to. I would love to go to a Euros. I would love to go to a Worlds, and I would love
Yeah,
to one day go to an on-road Worlds. Like, you know what I mean, like a nitro on-road Worlds, and
yeah.
and
There's a
boat
lot of cool
racing
on-road tracks in the world.
and boat racing. Lots of stuff I want to do. I am rejuvenated to do a whole bunch of RC stuff. Just my budget isn't. So yeah. So anybody who wants to, send me some RC stuff to do some stuff, cool stuff with, I'll send you my email. I'll send you my mailing address. It's in Miami. Don't cost that much. All right. I think that we had quite a lot of questions, dude. People are liking your answers. We're probably gonna be, as part of our revamping, we're gonna be able to dedicate a little bit more time to these in 2022. So that's good. Thank you to everybody for sending us questions for the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A. Good luck to everybody attending Masters of Dirt this weekend. I hope Aiden Horn wins everything. And we're going to get Aiden on her to have a stock versus mod, a mod versus stock debate.
So you're gonna have one of the top racers in America, and you're gonna have some guy with a pink pinion argue against each other.
Because it's so much fun. Like Larry like Joey is like, the Pink Pinion Crusader, and he can probably bring a guest on. He might do Aiden and you or something. We'll see how it goes.
I don't
Yeah,
care
good luck
about
to
pink
everybody.
pinions. Like, if you
Yeah.
have a pink pinion, don't talk to me. Talk to the hand.
But that's a whole different rant altogether. I just think it's going to be a great race, and I think kudos to Brent and the Beach RC crew for what they do. And remember, guys, we have an affiliate link for them. If you guys can go to that affiliate link and use that, it helps us out a lot, and shows that we're doing our job. Max, I think we're going to go on to the main interview with the Turkish German 15-year-old who looks like he's 21, Berkan Kilic. Talks like he's 21 too. It was actually a great chat with him. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk to Burak. I can't wait to meet him and his all of them, like the whole family one day. Enjoy the interview with Berkan Kilic, and thank you to Tekno RC for their support. And Max, I'll see you back for our conclusion.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.teknorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Tekno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Tekno Takeover.
Joining me this week is the younger half of a very dynamic duo that are known as the Killics. Killics?
Yeah,
Killic Brothers. If you guys, we've talked about them a lot on the podcast. You have Burak Kilic, he isn't here with us today, but we have the younger brother Berkan, who finished third this a week ago at the Buggyland race. Congratulations on that.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome to the podcast. We kind of met each other on Instagram. Yeah, because I got your age wrong.
Yeah, I said you thought I was like 17, but I'm actually 15, so I corrected that, and yeah.
Dude, you do not sound like a 15-year-old. You don't even look like a 15-year-old. So
With
I'm sure
a
you
lot
get.
of beard, so.
Hey, when I was 15, I had a full beard too. Don't worry. So, welcome to the podcast. Joseph said you guys enjoy the podcast too, so I'm happy. You enjoy our rants, which is great because I like ranting at Joseph. Congratulations on the third place this past weekend. It was a rough race. I didn't get to see much of it, but I was watching the scoring, and beautiful track. I love that track. It really is a great track. Like, you go up a mountain and come back down and go back up. Like, you go up a hill, come back down, go back up a hill, come back down. Really great track. That guy built some amazing, beautiful tracks. Unfortunately, we did not get to see much of the race because you had some issues that I didn't know about till you told me and whatnot. But welcome to the podcast. I want people to get to know you. Let's talk about you a little bit. So you are 15 years old. You live in Germany. What part of Germany do you live in?
In the north, in the near from Hamburg. It's called Bremen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty chilled out here, and yeah.
Yeah, and you are of Turkish descent. Like, your parents are from Turkey. Your dad and your mom. So you guys immigrated to Germany.
No, my dad immigrated from Turkey. And my mom is born in Germany, but she's Turkish, so yeah, right. I'm full Turkish.
All right, so how old is Burak?
Burak is 17 years old.
You guys are still so young. If you guys are so young, but it feels like you've been in RC forever.
Yeah, the thing is, my first German national final was with 9 years old.
Oh, really?
And also in the final was Neumann, Reckwart, and it was like all the big guns. And then I was like with my 9 years old on I don't know, but it was super nice. And also Burak, he was 11 there, and we were both in the final. And I finished 6th and he 4th, and I landed before Reckwart, and it was so nice for me.
With 9 years old. Reckwart is that's another person I'd like to get on here and talk to. He's a legend. And,
he's a legend and a super nice guy.
Yeah, so, I think you're the first guy from Germany, like a German racer that I've had on the podcast. So congratulations.
Thanks. Also the first Turkish one, so
that too.
That's it.
All right. So I'd like to find out how this all started for you. How did you guys get interested? I mean, obviously it's you and your brother because it both happened, I assume, at the same time. But how did you guys discover RC? How did this journey start for you?
My dad saw some guys driving a SC car on the what's called. I can wait 1 second.
Also, remember, guys, English is his second language, so he's a little bit nervous. He's got to do some
Uh,
Google translating her.
You know where the car stands?
Oh, on the driver stand?
No, 1 second. The translator needs to help me sometimes. Parking spot.
Oh, parking lot.
Yeah,
Okay,
my
gotcha.
dad saw some guys who driving their SC car on the parking spot, and then he also buys some SC cars, drove on the parking spot, and yeah, some guy asked, there are races. So my dad went to the first race with, I guess, 70 people, and he won it, the first race.
So this was on road.
No,
Oh,
off-road.
Oh,
Off-road.
so they raced in a parking lot and off road.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was 1995.
Okay.
Something, and he won the race. It was super crazy with
No way.
70 people. It was, and then then he raced. He was a really consistent driver, not the best, but all the time final, and also record was in his prime, I guess. And my dad could keep up with him, and yeah, then my brother was born. I was born. My brother started with 6 years old. At this time I was 4, so I didn't had interest in it. Then I started also with 6 years old, and on a racetrack I finished last. And yeah, that's how it started. And over the years, like when Burak was 8, he went super quick. Like also they checked it if he have something in his car, and like it was crazy. And yeah.
So what was you guys
like
racing
that?
most? Yeah, 8 scale was what you guys started with, right?
Yeah, only 1 8 scale. The
Yeah,
thing is, we have like in North Germany we have no tracks, like literally zero. The nearest is like 100 kilometer, and it's only carpet, and we need to drive like a lot to to races. So it's all weekends, 500 kilometers, 600, 1,000, all weekends.
Wow.
So we have like, since I drive, we never practice in the week, and yeah.
You guys don't practice throughout the week?
School and work, so we never practice in the week.
So 8 years old, Burak's getting good. 6 years old, you start.
Yeah, I was good since, I don't know, since 2019 with the Agama, but then we went from Agama to Mugen 2020, and then I went super quick. Like 2019 Buggy Land with the Agama, I don't know how much Robert gave me, how much laps, like 3-4 laps he gave me, and then like 3 months later with the Mugen in Padova, I was starting in front of him.
Incredible.
So
did your dad? When did your dad stop racing?
Since I drive, since now 9 years, since I started. Sorry.
So he does. You were saying he does a lot of the mechanic work for you guys. He works on both of your cars, or do you guys help out at all?
The thing is, we have no mechanic, like a second mechanic. That's why our dad does it. And yeah, sometimes in the final he pits us at the same time, same lap, alone. And yeah, then I tell my brother, wait off me because we have no other ones. It's all the time super funny. And
I was gonna ask that who pits your brother, because you guys are always in the finals together.
Like on big races, like someone else coming with us, but on small races, my dad does it alone.
Interesting. All right. So after Burak was 8 years old and he's getting fast, and they were checking for, I assume they were checking for gyros and whatnot.
Yeah.
So when was your first big race after that? Like when was your first real race? And you said you made the finals at 9 years old, but you had to make did you make any other finals before that?
My first big race was actually the German National with 9 years old. Before that, I was with 6-year-old in Leipzig. I don't know if you know that, but there was a like in a hall also Ronnefalk and all the guys went to there, and I get into the final with Draghi and got 6th place with 6 years old
And where was this again? Sorry.
in Leipzig. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
that,
I never heard of that, so I'd have
but
to go
it
look
was
it
a
up.
big race in Germany. So yeah,
Interesting. All right, so when did you guys start taking this a little bit more serious? I know we was talking. You said this is still a hobby for you. That's how you like to think of it. I think of it. It's more of a sport when you're doing it. What you guys are doing that, but we haven't had. We've had a couple of brother teams or racers throughout history. We had the Matt Francis and Mark Francis. We have the Agoins.
Igon,
Majubes, the Skidmores. I'm probably missing the what's the
Rekwas
other
also.
German guy's name? Reinhardt's.
Yeah,
So there's been quite a few brother teams, but I don't know if there's been a brother team where you guys are almost equal in speed. Like I think you guys are both equal. I think it depends. Like one day Burak can beat you, and one day you can beat Burak. But when I talk to like Max and even some other guys, they say you're the faster one. I'm just saying that's what they say. But
the
how do
thing
you
is,
feel about that?
we practice all the time together because he's my brother, and
Mhm.
he over the years he pushed me a lot, so I become quick because of him. Everybody knows that because with 10 years old he was the fastest in Germany, almost the
Really,
fastest, and I was like, okay, final, but maybe top 5, maybe not. So I was good, but not good like him, and he pushed me, and now we changed the rules, and now I'm behind
Mhm.
him and pushing him, and then next race. So it's really good practice with him, and I can say a big thank you to my brother that I'm so fast as now. So yeah,
That's so good that you guys still got along though, and not get off obviously you're gonna get along, but your brothers. I mean, you're competitors, but your brothers.
yeah, like all races on big races, we're working together. I only
Mhm.
won the Polish national because of him.
Really?
So yeah,
Why was that?
because on the last round, I was like super bad. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but I was sick. I was driving super bad at
Mhm.
everything, and another guy was there. He was also super quick. And yeah, normally, when I have a bad day and my brother has a good day, he gives me 2 laps normally, easy.
Really?
Yeah, and then he was behind me the whole laps for like 45 minutes. And then he went into the pit, waited like 10 seconds, and then he pushed again 5 laps later. He was behind me. So I don't know how he does it, but he, like on bumpy tracks, he's unstoppable, crazy fast.
Really? How about you? What's your favorite type of track?
Buggy land tracks, like super smooth, and on this
Oh,
tracks, I'm super quick. But I don't know why, but since I drive, we only have bumpy tracks. And
okay.
I'm good at it, but not that good at it like Burak. He's crazy.
So is Borak good on the smooth tracks as well?
He's also good at it, but like since we joined Moon, like on Padova, Montpellier, Buggyland, Portugal last year, I bet him on every track of them, and but on bumpy tracks all the time he's faster.
Oh man, you got to get out there and do some rough track racing, man. Get faster there. But
Yeah,
most of the tracks are going to that smooth. Like Buggyland's exceptional. It looked really smooth. Looked like it had some grip. I didn't really see any rough. I mean, I couldn't see much, but you obviously was there. Was it as smooth as it looked?
it was super smooth. Like the track was crazy smooth. And yeah, a lot of guys wrote that they have like what's called brake issues and setup issues, and I don't know. Like I never had any problem because I don't know why, but my dad looks at the weather, looks at the track at home, and says, "Okay, I do the setup like this, like this." We go to the race, and then he changed some stubbies and finished.
Really interesting. Well, yeah, dad seems to know what he's doing as well. He used to
Yeah,
race.
it's crazy. He's like doing mechanic all week, and okay, doesn't know like this. Like he's doing his job like crazy good. I don't know how, but Yeah, the mechanic, like all the time. I never had a race where the car was shit. Never. And never had a car issue. Like, never. I only flamed out or something like this happened. But the car all the time is super crazy good. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it's your dad, and Mason's dad, Mike. He has two kids as well, two sons that are racing, and your dad's doing the same thing. And I tell him all the time, I said, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Like even like, and they race a lot. Like you guys, they race on they go to a lot of the big races and stuff like that. So it's good to see that as well. That hey man, when dad's into it, like I would love my kids to. Well, we don't have anywhere to race, so
Yeah.
if my son or daughter ever wants to do it, then sure, I'm gonna be all behind them. All right. So you did talk about making this switch from Agama because you guys were on Nemo for quite a long time. How long was you guys running Nemo?
It was
Agama.
4 years.
Hmm.
And yeah, after Burak got third place at the
Yeah.
Euros, a lot changed.
Hmm.
Like Agama is also a good car. I can't
Hmm.
complain it, but Mugen is Mugen. So
And you say it right. Actually, it's Mugen. Like we all say Mugen, but it's Mugen. That's how I think they
I
pronounce
call
it.
it on German, so it's Mugen. So
Yeah, don't worry. I used to be a Mugen. I used to be a Mugenite as well before I met JQ. I have all my Mugen cars back there. That was my first 8 scale car was a Mugen. So
like if you start as Sika, you start with Kirsche or Mugen. Everybody
yeah,
knows that. So
exactly.
and
That's the only two
Mugen,
cars that were worth anything back then, really.
yeah, I think I achieved all with 15. I'm driving for Mugen directly for Japanese with my brother.
Hmm.
It's perfect.
15 years old. 15 years old. So let's talk about that. Because you said you treat this as a hobby, try not to take it too serious, but realistically, like you and your brother are what I would say you're semi-pro right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, obviously, professional means getting paid and everything, fully travel and all that type of stuff. I don't know what you guys deal is with
We can't
Mugen.
talk about that. So
No, that's cool. I know that's personal. But I mean, I think you guys are going to be professional racers, both of you, unless something happens and you do something else in life. But is that a goal for you and your brother to become actual professional racers and do it for a living?
the thing is, I want to do school first, so then I can do some SC Cup professional. But I want to have something to start then professional SC Cup. So I can start no SC Cup professional. I think it's no problem. But I want to have something in my hand if something happens in SC Cup. So if some faster drivers come, go. So
Yes.
like like crazy how much new drivers come and go
Mhm.
the last time. So yeah,
But you're still like in equivalent to high school of
yeah, I'm like now in the final year of school, and I don't know
okay.
if I do like more school after it or go work. I need to decide
Or take a
now.
break and do RC for a year. See where it goes.
Yeah, I need to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're still young, dude. Like, I mean, after that great performance at Buggy Land, and then I hope that you guys make it over to America next year. I really want to see you guys come to DNC and do some racing there. Then we have the Worlds next year, which is great. I can't wait for that.
In Spain.
And I know, I when I saw that, I jumped for joy. I was like, the only thing that can stop me from going to the Worlds next year is if I die because I am going to the Worlds next year. So I'm all excited. Yeah, I think being a professional racer is not out of the. I think you guys are on the way there. But what do you want to study in school if you was to go to the university?
Still no idea,
You're
so I
still
need to
young.
also think about it. I think I have now like 1 year left,
Mhm.
and then I need to see if I study or go work. Like I don't know. I'm good at school, so yeah, I
You
have a
got
lot
good
of choices.
grades?
Yeah,
I sucked at school, dude. No worry, I sucked at school. I did not like school. I went to like one of the better schools in my country, but I just didn't like school, and I just didn't like it. Which I kind of paying for it now, but that's fine. What about your
also,
brother? Is he in school or is he working or what's he doing?
Now he's working. Like he's also good in school, but not like good, if you know what I mean. Like,
Mhm.
and he's now working as what's called where you color the cars.
A painter?
Yeah, a painter.
Okay, like real cars.
Yeah, real cars.
Okay, so he's learning how to do auto body.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Autobody. What's the
So,
name?
so he's learning a skill. Good, smart
Yeah,
man, smart man, smart man. Because a lot of people just think like, oh yeah, once I get that deal and I become like I'm almost there, like I'm on my way. But it's still a big jump from getting that 100% deal, maybe a little bit of travel, to getting paid to do this for like paid where you make a decent living.
yeah.
Very hard. So when you was younger, or even now, who were some of your mentors, some of the drivers that you looked up to?
Always record. Like in
Record?
Germany, he was like, oh, crazy. He's the guy, and I know like Robert, also my teammate. I also looked at him because still crazy
I
fast,
know.
and yeah, I think only the two. And yeah, and now
What?
I have Robert as my teammate, and I'm feeling like it's so
Yeah,
nice.
has he been helpful with you and setting up your cars and whatnot? Has he
The
helped you out a
thing
lot?
is, my dad is a really good mechanic.
Okay,
He doesn't want help or doesn't need any help. So
got you.
he's
Robert had a good buggy land too. Fourth, I think
well,
he came.
yeah. I was fighting with him.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys were fighting the whole race. Burak was fighting with Ronafalk, and you was fighting
Yeah.
with
No, the thing is, I was at the start fighting with Canas and Algaro for the win. Then
mhm,
I had the first engine flamer, but I was still like 20 seconds ahead of Robert and the other guys. Then I had the
mhm,
second flamer, and then I was behind them.
yeah,
And Burak was fighting with Robert and Berton.
mhm.
Then he had also the two times engine flameouts. Then he was fighting with Ronald. But
Yeah, you
mid
had
race,
2 or 3 flameouts.
I had two,
Mhm.
but the next pit stop was with a bottle. So it was a crazy
Uh,
race.
Just so people clarify, because we talked about this before, this gentleman flamed out 2 times, still finished third, and the reason they found out was the fuel gun. Or
Yeah.
they,
The fuel gun,
they,
we
yeah,
put it in and it flamed out directly.
okay,
We don't know
got
why.
you.
We had a lot of fuel in it, so
Yeah. All right. So now you said there's a lot of young racers, and there is. Europe is full of young racers right now, especially in Italy. Wow, Italy
yeah,
is
that's
chock.
true. That's
Yes,
true. A lot of good guys there.
but you guys seem to be rising above that. I mean, you obviously you done, and Spain. Spain's got a lot of young talent. Parente and all those guys coming up too. Who do you feel is these? Who do you feel is your biggest challenge out there in your age bracket?
My brother.
But he's a little older than you.
Yeah, in my age bracket,
Hmm.
I think now, like in Italy, they're all, I think, over 18 now.
Okay.
So they're quite old. So my biggest rival is now my brother because Daniel Parente, he's like super quick,
Hmm.
but like only in Spain.
How old is
That's
he?
that's. I think he's 16, but he's a lot
Okay, so
smaller than me, so he looks younger.
okay.
But
Well, he
like
needs
the
to get out of
Italy,
Spain.
yeah, it's normal, but cash and all the other stuff. Also,
Yes.
the Italy guys, they're all only racing in Italy, and they're
Hmm.
only fast in Italy. But like Poletti, he's crazy fast everywhere. Like
Polito?
Polito, yeah,
Yeah.
is crazy. Like I don't know why. Like I like him, Marco Ravaglia. I really like him as a guy, but I don't know why he's in the top 25. Really, I don't know the system. It's really weird
Because of the
to me.
algorithms. The algorithms put him there. Are you in it? I haven't even checked it yet.
No, I don't admit. Like last year, I had like Montpellier P6, Padova P6, what's called Portugal P3, and now P3, and I'm still not in it. And I won Polish national and all the stuff.
Well, the Polish Nats doesn't count because
I
it.
know, I know only the big races, but
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand it. I know the guy who does it, and it's just, it's the way the algorithm works. It like, because we don't have a series. You know what I mean? We don't have
Yeah,
any series in RC, so we can't really.
it's still weird for me. So
It doesn't matter. You finished third at Buggyland versus some of the best in the world, so it doesn't really matter about that. You know what I mean? The top 25 is nice. I like to look at it. It gives us something to talk about. But like to really have a top 25, we would have to have an actual series where people, like any other motorsports. But that's a whole spiel for another day. We've talked about that a lot. All right. Outside of RC, what do you like to do? What are some of your hobbies?
Like I play a lot of games, like racing games. I
Mhm.
also sitting now in a simulator. And and
Yeah, because
play
you're playing, what you playing, Assetto Corso?
F1. I'm also driving
Ah,
esports in it, so
you like
and
esports?
yeah,
I
I
think it's
do a
great.
lot of esports in F1, and I'm playing not a lot, but sometimes basketball,
Mhm. Favorite
and yeah,
any type of sports that you particularly like or follow? Is it just basketball?
F1. It's also a sport, so
Yeah, of course. Turkey
like
this
football
weekend.
and basket. What? Yeah. Oh my God, Turkey! Finally.
Yeah. As
I'm
we're
super
recording
happy
this,
about.
it's before the race because we're recording, before this will be launched, we're recording before that. So Turkey this weekend. I'll be watching that Sunday morning.
I'm super hyped
Um,
about it. So
yeah, it's gonna be good. Let's go Hamilton. I'm a Hamilton.
Uh,
I'm a
I'm
Hamilton
like
fan.
a Carlos Sainz fan. I don't know why.
Okay. Well, his
Oh,
dad
oh
was a good rally car driver.
yeah, I know.
Really
We've
good.
been when we were in Madrid. We went to his go-kart track, and all was good. Was
Oh
super
yeah.
nice. Yeah,
Oh, after Buggyland.
yeah. At the Buggy Land race, we went to with Ongaro, my brother, and some friends there. And
And you said Ongaro beat you there too, right?
no, I bet all the guys. I was the fastest. I don't know why.
Ah.
Like 2 tenths at the
Are
track
you the
record.
smallest?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. That's why, because you're the lightest. You're the lightest. Oh good, man. All right. So what are some of your goals in RC? And like what would you like to do in RC?
Like the thing is, always I try my best at this Sika, but actually I don't have a goal because I'm racing, try my best and finish. Like this weekend, I know I could win, so I go for the
Mhm.
win. Next race, I know I can go for top five, I go for top five. So
That's pretty
yeah,
simple.
it's pretty simple. So yeah, no pressure for me. Also, no one makes pressure. Like my dad makes no pressure, my brother. Like maybe I have a goal, beat my brother. Like
Mhm.
yeah, that's the only goal I think.
And what's his goal? To beat you? He wants to beat everybody.
Who?
He wants to beat everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think
Like
Burak takes it a little bit more serious than you?
yeah,
Or
a lot
uh,
more. Like he wants to be professional, but my dad says no. You're too young. Go work and do something. But
y-
all good.
y- you know, I think your dad's smart like that. Like, you know what I
I
mean? You
know.
should you should learn a trade. If you're not going to go school, learn a trade. You know what I mean? Because RC doesn't last forever. We know that. I mean, you guys can have a good career. You know what I mean? To you, like, let's say 35. What are you going to do after 35? Do you go work in the industry? Do you go get another job? It's hard. So learning a trade is always good. And you know what? If your brother goes out there and works for a year or two, when he becomes a professional RC car driver, he appreciate it more because he'd
Yeah.
be like, I'm all right. I'd rather go travel and race RC cars than do this. But he might like auto body too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know. I know. So yeah.
it's it's good because I see a lot of parents that just want their kids to be like, be professional right from a young age, and they want to get them in and they want to do this. But it's a very rare occurrence that happens. Like, you know what I mean? That's like unicorns right there. I think you guys can do it, but I think what your dad, I would do the same thing as your father. I would be like, all right, go out and work, go out and experience life for a little bit. You know what I mean? You can still race. Like 2 years, he's young. He can be a professional in a year time. You know what I mean? I have a feeling he's probably gonna
Yeah,
be
I
professional
know.
soon too. But maybe you being more relaxed allows you to do better.
Like I don't know why, but all the guys before the final they are nervous, and I'm
Mm.
standing there. Okay, okay, the final is now good.
No nerve.
It's
You didn't
like
get nervous at all.
never. Like I only the first and last time I went nervous was like in Padova because it was my first race in the eco final against big guys, and I won it. So, and since
Yeah.
then, I never get nervous. Like, okay, I'm driving against my brother. It's always my head. I'm driving against my brother. Finish. No pressure.
Wow. That's a lot of people can't do that, man. A lot of people can't do that. You see these guys, like I could imagine so much pressure for those guys. This is money for them too, as well. But you're
I
just
know.
like, yeah, I'm just racing my brother.
Yeah, all the time. Like also when Robert was behind me, okay, my brother's ahead of me, full throttle, and finished.
But you did have a little incident this weekend, last weekend. You got in it with Ranafolk. He actually showed me that, and then you showed it to me.
Yeah,
But that's racing as
that's
well.
right.
You know what
I
I mean?
guess
That happens.
from my side,
Yep.
it happens. It was like
hmm
not the smartest move because I like have literally zero brake in my car because my car is like super aggressive. Like my rear is super loose. My dad builds it like this for us, and I have a lot of steering. And
Okay.
yeah, so I don't brake.
You
And
don't
then
break
I
at all.
like I brake, but only at the end of the straight or something like that.
Really? But you
Yeah,
drive like me. I can't brake. So, well, my finger doesn't brake fast enough on this side. So I coast a lot. But excuse me, you are way, way, way better than I would ever be. But I don't use brakes either. But I do not get the results that you get at all. So, interesting driving style. You like a really loose car. Does your brother like that as well?
yeah, more loose than me. So he's a driver. As he has full steering with the moon. Need more steering. Need more brake. Need more this. Need more this. Like his driving style is super aggressive.
Okay.
Like super super. And my is normally calm. And that's the only difference between us. We are same speed, all same, but the drivings is super different.
Well, I think your driving style reflects your personality. You're very calm, very outgoing. I haven't talked to your brother yet, but you're the first one to reach out to me to that. So I guess it's like it reflects your personality. Your driving style is more calm and reflect and relaxed, and he wants it. He wants that aggressiveness. He wants to be. I think I think it's like it's weird because I thought you guys would be both. It's weird because I thought you both be like the same. Like, oh, I want to do this, but I haven't even talked to your brother yet, and I can see that you guys are two completely different.
Yeah, we
Uh,
are completely different
yeah, completely
drivers,
different people.
persons, everything. Like everything.
Wow.
Like on the track, I do nothing. Like literally nothing. I clean my car, give it to my dad. He said he says to me, "You need to say nothing. I saw all. I change it. Next time will be better." My brother, oh, we need to change this, this, this. But my dad already knows it. But because he looks the car and says, "Okay, it's good. It's shit. We need to change this to 1 point." I don't know. I don't even know any setups. Like nothing. I
you're
don't
like
know anything.
you're like. Have you ever seen Days of Thunder? It's a very older movie, but it's about NASCAR driving, and it's got oh shucks. This is too old for you. This is like 1990. This was made, but the guy Cole Trickle was his name. The guy's name. Oh, he's a famous actor. I can't remember his name. Why can't I remember his name? He's been in like all these movies, like Mission Impossible, all this stuff. Oh, anywho, this guy doesn't know anything about racing at all. He just drives, and he comes in, and the guys are talking all this technical stuff to him. He's like, I don't know. So they have to teach him how to do that. Do you think it will come a time when you get interested in learning about your car and learn how to do things like that?
No, actually no.
Why?
Like so sometimes I'm driving and my dad says, "Ah, you feel the different." I don't know, super. Like normally I drive super soft, and then he puts soft on my car, and then he said, "Ask me, can you feel a difference?" I say it's much better, but it's actually super soft. So he tricks me, and I say it's better or like bad, but it's actually the same. So
Wow. Wow. So you're just talented, man. That's what it comes down to. You're just
like
talented.
really, I don't know anything about SC cars. Like I know car, tires, engine, and like the simple stuff, but about setup and hard things, I don't
Oh,
care and I don't know. So
so Mugen guys, do not contact Berkan for setup
I
advice. Do
always say
not.
them contact Burak or my dad. Finish.
It's like me. People ask me setup advice. I'm like, nah, JQ or Max. I just I just make minimal. When I did race, I change tires, make this change, and that's it. I just have fun. But I guess that works for you, though. You know,
Yeah, the, the,
obviously it is.
the thing is, I have like for me the best mechanic now in the world. Like I
Mhm.
never had any problems with the setup. Too much grip, next round the car was perfect. Too less grip, next round the car was perfect. Like also the tires, we now drive per circuit. A lot of
Mhm.
guys in America don't know that. Like we have like 4 profiles and 3 different tire compounds. Enough,
Mhm.
and it's fast. It's super quick.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys come to DNC. What's the chances of you guys coming over there?
The thing is now because I'm in the last year of school, it will be hard to come there. But we try our best to come. Like always, like this year we didn't go to Portugal because of COVID. Last day they said you can't go. It's you need to go 2 weeks into quarantine. I go to school, so
Mm.
I need to stay in Germany, and we don't go alone. Like Burak could, but my dad said both or none.
I like that. I think he wants you guys to both have the same opportunities, and I think he
Yeah,
thinks if one of you go, then the other misses out on something. So that's the way to do it, man. That's honestly the way to do it. That's how the Fullers do it. And
like I have no problem. My dad can go to races with my brother alone, but he will not do it. Like when I was 12 year old, I was so close to stop SC car racing because I didn't enjoy it anymore.
mhm.
And my dad said, "Okay, it's your choice." But then I was like, next week, oh, I'm so bored. I need to do something, and then went to racing again.
How do you feel about it now? Do you enjoy it still?
Like
Are you passionate about it?
like when I'm driving, it's like it's like my favorite food or something. I'm just liking it. It's like it's a hobby for me still. I'm still liking
Yeah,
it. Like on the final, I finished third. I was like, nice, super,
yeah.
good. Like
Uh,
the thing is, my impression or what's called my emotions are really not that high. Like I'm like, okay, nice. Also, in every qualifying session in Magiland, I finished second and I went with one nitro fourth and the other in eco three. But every
mhm.
other I finished like second with a half seconds behind Ongaro, Canas, or someone else. It was like, okay, good.
Yeah, I think, and wow, I just like I said, when you first told me that, when we first talked, I was like, wow, this is just, and then I just realized, like, now talking to you, getting to know you over the last few days, like I can see like this just works for you. Like some people are tense, just like in it, and I think some people are just like, yeah, let's go. And how you explain how when you're racing, that was pretty cool. It's like I'm eating my favorite food or something like that. That's pretty cool. All right, so what's next for you guys? Where are you guys racing next?
I don't know. Now I think this month is Padova,
Mhm.
but we don't know if we go there because it's like empty the race. We don't know why, but no one
Mm.
will go to the race.
Well, they have the Reg
So
GP next weekend. I think. I think that's where
we
JQ is
don't go
going.
there. We don't go there. It's
Ah,
like
okay.
for us. We have a story, but we don't talk about that.
No, he says we have a story, but we don't talk about that. Oh my gosh! So, what has been your favorite track to go to so far? Has it been Buggyland?
Um, the first time we went to Redovan, like where the world champion is now, 2016. Oh, crazy. The track is
What do you like about that track so much? It's
like
so
it's
big.
big. Sometimes you don't even see your car. It's like you see your antenna. It's called on English antenna.
An antenna.
Antenna. Sometimes you
Yeah,
only see this and then you follow this. It's so funny and just having fun on the track. It's
it
just
is a
nice.
massive track. I
Yeah,
I wonder if they're gonna rebuild it for the. They would have to rebuild it for the
yeah,
worlds. I would say
40% or something like that.
that's a
But
big track to rebuild.
yeah, but normally the Spain guys knows like the underground. It's called the ground,
The 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 the
the
the dirt.
dirt, the dirt. They know everything. So I think Canas, Robert, and all the other Spain guys will be driving away properly.
What do you think
I don't
about?
know.
I think Canas is so fast right now.
The thing
Like,
is, Canas is like super quick, but he also make like the little mistakes, like what cost 5 seconds, and Ongaro like didn't do anything. Still
yeah.
don't do any little errors.
Crazy, insane.
Like
I watched Canas at RCGP, and wow, he was just. I thought he was faster than Ongaro. You know, in all out speed and pace. Dude, what I saw him doing with those cars, man. The guy's he's fast. He's fast.
Yeah, that's true. Like also, I'm doing like when I practice my first practice session, I just put any tire on it, like normally pro circuit, but you know what I mean. Compound doesn't matter. Know the track. Second practice, I try to get on my pace for the final. So my practice, qualifying, and semifinals, I'm practicing for the final. Like where my limit is, then I go like not 100%, like 95. Then you know what I mean. So I'm just preparing for the finals, like every session,
So
driving
what are you doing
consistently.
in downtime at the track? When you're wrenching. So what are you doing when you're not driving at the track? When you're at a race?
Like on the race, normally I'm talking with other guys about
You mean,
anything else because on the racetrack, I don't know why, but I don't like it to talk about SCK. I don't know why. I'm just
You
talking
seem
about
like
I don't know.
you seem like the guy, like one guy that really doesn't like RC cars, but you're good at it and you do it, but you like
No,
it that way.
I really like it, but I don't talk about that often. So
Got you.
in school, they asked me, "What did you do on the weekend?" Yeah, I went to a track and drove the finish. So
What do your friends think about it?
yeah, it's super easy and blah blah blah. And then
Do
they
they?
they come to me. I give them my radio control here, some Forestry Pro, 1 minute slower at a 20-second lap, and they say, "Oh, it's difficult." Wow, I didn't know that. So
Do, as a young person in RC, right? You sound like I always say RC isn't cool. You know what I mean? It's full of old guys like me who
yeah,
sit around and talk about RC too much and think we're great. There's not many young racers like yourself in RC. Maybe in Europe it's a little different. Do you think like as a young person in RC, you're in it, you're doing it at a high level and you're treating it as a hobby, but you're still at a very high level. Why do you think that young people aren't getting into it, and what can we do to fix RC so we can attract more young people into RC?
the thing is, I started, my dad went with us to all big races. Like the first big race for me was with 6 euros, the Euro B on the Hungaroring. Second big race was 2014 in Neo Buggy. I didn't even did the best final, like the first final, but it's experience.
Right.
And the thing is, in Germany we have like 4 juniors. I'm one and 3 others.
Hmm.
They're only racing in their home city or something like that, and the dads don't really support it.
Right.
Or like in Germany, like the club, I
Hmm.
don't want to say this, but it's really not good, or they are not
Got you.
good. So they don't give any money to young children or say, okay, I will pay your start money because your dad has not enough money or something. In
Mhm.
France, or I think it's in Italy, pay. They will pay you a lot. So that's why maybe you have in French and in
Mhm.
Italy a lot of juniors because they can go to the big race because
Right.
the club says, okay, we will pay you what's called starting money, and
Yeah,
yeah,
helps travel and stuff
yeah,
in France.
that's it.
I didn't
That's the
realize that.
Hitec.
I didn't realize that. That's good.
And in Germany, like we have a lot of drivers. Like we have qualification race for the nets.
Hmm.
Like it's crazy full all the time. Like we have a limit 120
Hmm.
at the nets, but we could easily go like 300 cars.
Really?
Like it's crazy full. Yeah, and only nitro buggy, not an eco truggy, only one class. That's crazy in
What's your
Germany.
favorite track in Germany?
We don't have any. Like we have Rain Main and
Mhm.
Santa Mine, but yeah, probably it's Rain Main, but it's also 50 carpet, 50 um,
Ah, okay.
dirt, and yeah, but yeah, I think it's the best in Germany and the
Which one is
only good
closest to
one.
you? Which track is closest to you?
100 kilometer or 70, 80 kilometer. It's like a full carpet track where they play football and you can't
Oh,
drive
right.
on it, but because you jump and the car is like this. So we never practice there. It's not a track.
Wow. So you guys
It's
it's crazy.
the
Crazy,
nearest
crazy.
the nearest good track is Rain Main, 500 kilometers. So yeah,
Interesting. Interesting. Is there anything you would like to see change in our industry?
all good, I think.
He says all good.
So I think maybe we need more young drivers,
Mhm.
but I think like we need more guys who supports the hobby.
Yeah.
So
We need more people.
we need to go into TV and the other stuff, maybe into Netflix. We don't know, and
Yes.
like then a lot more will do it. So
I know it's I was watching Netflix, like the world's most obscure sports, yo-yoing and rolling cheese wheels down a hill and all that stuff. And I'm like, we're so obscure we can't even get on this.
yeah,
I think
makes no
unfortunately
sense.
people just don't know what we're doing, man. But we need young guys like you. I mean, honestly, I don't talk to many 15-year-olds. You don't seem 15 to me. I'm sure you are a regular 15-year-old, but to me, you seem very mature and very much older than 15. But we need people like you, and we need young drivers like you, because you guys are the ones that are going to take it to that next level. You guys are you're the tech guys, you're the social media guys, you're the age of all of that. So you guys are going to take it to that next level, and then the generation behind you guys is going to benefit from it, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it will be.
All right. Well, I told you this was only going to be 45 minutes. I enjoyed getting to know you. I want to talk to your brother too now, because
Yeah,
I
I
would
can
love to.
call him.
No,
It's
no. I'm
okay.
gonna interview him next time, but I want to see the difference between you guys, because you're just so chilled. Like, you know what I mean? You sound like you want to be down here in the DR on the beach, chilling out.
Yeah,
But
I'm also in what's called privacy life, like
private.
in private life.
Mhm.
I don't care about anything, so I'm super chilled, I think. So yeah,
Sweet. All right, man. Well, do you want to say shout out and say thank you to anybody before
yeah.
we finish this?
To my dad and mom who supports me all the time, and yeah, and also my grandma because she's the best as
Ah,
always.
and also to Burak for pushing you.
Yeah, also to Berek. He knows that because only of him I'm fast, and everybody knows that.
Incredible, incredible. I wonder what I'm gonna ask. I wonder if you push him. When I find out, I wonder if he thinks you push him. Maybe
Like I
now
can,
because you're getting faster.
I can tell you now. It's in practice sessions. I don't know how, but he's so much quicker than in the finals, qualifying, and anything else. But in the practice, he's flying over the track. Like I don't know if he's in the finals nervous or something, but in practice he don't care about anything and
Oh my gosh, he's got to do that focus training like in Formula One, where they do the tennis balls. You seen
yeah,
that?
yeah,
He's got to do that, and then he could stop being nervous and get his hand-eye coordination. I think all of that stuff needs to come into play in RC. Because I think focus training, hand-eye coordination, and all that type of stuff is the only exercises that you guys, as professional drivers, on the level that you guys are at. I know you're not a
yeah.
professional yet, but you know what I mean. But man, I hope to see you in America next year. You and your brother. I want to finally meet you, your dad, and everybody. Joseph and Max always speak very highly of you guys, so that's great. And I enjoyed getting to know you. And I hope that I honestly, I think a lot of people like me are going to be shocked that you're only 15 years old. Like I can sit off and talk with you all day, like almost, and it's incredible. But thank you for your time, man. And
No
I
problem.
look forward to seeing you and your brother become the dynamic. I want to see like you guys like take on the RC world, like, you know what I mean, and do it and do it for Turkey, do it for. Hey, that's what I meant to ask. Is there any RC racing in Turkey?
Like we have a track, it's like a eight, and they're driving in an eight, so it's like in Turkey that. But the on-road track in Turkish are crazy good. They are
Oh,
crazy good.
I forgot to ask that. So you only do 8 scales. So are we going to see you doing any other genres of RC?
We're still thinking about that, but I don't really like on road. It's like 5 minutes and finish. You can't do even like refuel or something. It's boring for me. But Burak
But there's
is
10
like,
scale.
yeah, bro, like 10 scale. We need to see in the future maybe. But like Burak, you know Christopher Krapp, the German one.
Who was that?
Christopher Krapp, it's German. Christopher Krapp. He's like in the US final top 5 all the races in modified.
I've probably heard his name. I
And
don't follow 10. Is this on road?
yeah, it's on road EOS,
Okay.
like the European on road series. Like Mark Reinhardt, Arkberg, and Bruno always drive there, and Christopher Krapp. He's getting like every time top 5, and Burak is same speed with him. So Burak is in everything fast. Like
Wow.
I don't know
gotta
how.
interview Burak. But you know
Yeah.
what? Berkan isn't slow either. Berkan just came third after 2 flameouts. So against some of the best in the world. So don't sell yourself short, dude.
No problem with that. So
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna let you get back to Formula One. I enjoyed my chat with you, and tell your brother I said he's next. I want to talk to
will
him.
do.
And just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to seeing both of you doing well in RC and being in RC for a long time. We need it. We need it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot
All
that
right.
I can be on the podcast. So
Yeah. I'm gonna figure out. I gotta find something to rant with JQ so you guys can have a good laugh. Like we can get a good argument, but probably not this week. All right, dude. Thank you for your time, and yeah, kill it. Keep killing it, man. Congratulations on third, and I look forward to seeing big things from you and your brother.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sun City RC Raceway, the home of El Paso's world-famous motocross-inspired 8-scale off-road track. The Showers family has over 20 years' experience creating one of the premier tracks in the USA. Their world-class facility has everything: handicap accessibility, covered beds, skate starts, space for parking RVs, trailers, and lights for night racing. Follow SCRC on Facebook under Sun City RC Raceway for updates, upcoming races, or host your own race.
Yes, and thank you to SCRC. Sorry, I jacked my chair up too high here. There we go. Shout out to SCRC, Sun City RC Raceway, and the Showers family, Joey, Corbin, and Christian. They just had the US Open here a few weeks ago. Great family who love RC, and if you are in the El Paso area, please stop by and show them some love, because they show the podcast some love, and we greatly appreciate their support. Thank you to those guys. So nothing real serious, Max, but with Marco kind of starting the whole silly season, now my favorite time of the year is her, and this is like the time when I try to chill out, but I never chill out with this stuff because my brain just goes and I get so many little tidbits of information and stuff like that.
It's funny because everyone releases it on Monday usually. Like obviously Marco released now on Thursday, but a lot of guys release on Monday morning. So like Monday is so crazy when everyone like hour by hour like
I know
say like I'm changing this, I'm leaving this. It's fun.
I think like we're not going to really go into too much about silly season, but I think it's something that, my thought of the week is that I think that's something unique that we have in comparison with many other real full-scale sports. And I think we honestly just don't make a big enough deal about it, because here we have the top athletes in our sport making these moves, and we're just like, oh yeah, it's all so secretive and all that stuff. And
yeah,
I just get so upset at that, and that's why I go so geek out for this stuff so much, and I get so into it because this is exciting to me, and I feel this is exciting to others. This is the shit that I wanted to listen to. I wanted to know when I was just sitting in the pits and I didn't know anybody. You know what I mean? Now I have a little bit of an inside view on things. I want the world to know, and I think this makes it exciting. I just don't understand why the industry does not embrace this more.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually nice that sort of the brands don't like, they try to keep it a bit secret, because that's what they should do. But I think it's very like, I think if you see someone running at the track with the new car, you always say it. You always say like, at least tell your friends and try to share it to someone.
Of course,
I
it's
think
nothing
that
to
that's
keep secret.
fun, because that's like you're trying to find something out. That's always fun. So I encourage everyone to do that. And every time someone's doing something like running a different engine at some race or whatever it is, like try to find that out. Like what Circus did at with the Worlds, that was
Mhm.
actually huge. That was probably one of the biggest like journalist things that has been in RC for a long time. Like Phil used to do it, and Phil was really good with this. But
Mhm.
since Phil hasn't been around, like it has to sort of be missing from RC. Phil actually took a lot, like he actually put a lot of effort in the silly season as well. So
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
think
one
we
of the
have to
best
make this
parts
silly
about
season.
RC media.
Yeah, I think this year, and Joseph will probably be around between us three and whoever else we get on her. We're gonna blow this stuff up this year, and I think
Yeah.
we're gonna see a lot of moves. I've been
I
hearing
think
things for a lot,
I think
but I
I
just
think it's
waiting
gonna
and
be the
waiting.
craziest silly season. Like obviously now we're doing these crazy predictions, and it's gonna be the most boring silly season ever. But like I predict that it's gonna be one of the craziest silly seasons in a while, because COVID's over.
Mm-hmm,
Next year's a World's year.
mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of people, a lot of companies are sort of restructuring, and a lot of companies are sort of like I don't know if a lot of people are having their contracts ended this year, but
A
like
good bit are.
people like Van Dalen, Mayfield, uh, everyone running MX engines this year. I guess
Mm-hmm.
some people have already picked a new engine.
AKA Pro
AKA drive, yeah.
Line.
What happens with AKA? What happens with TLR? Do they sign a new guy? Are they happy with Cav and Fend? Fend will obviously go to Pro Line, but apart from that, like what else happens? Charlie? Will Cav start running OS engines like Fend is doing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like all that type of stuff. Like TLR, like actually, I'm really excited about what TLR this silly season could decide if TLR will become sort of the dominant race team in RC, like professional race team. Because if
Well,
they do
just
this properly, they can make it happen. TLR
mm-hmm.
can be the sort of the number one in 8 scale, even if they don't have a good car, or even if they don't have like
Well, I
the
heard though they have a new
absolute
car
best
coming too.
drivers. I
So I
mean
heard they have a new
that
car
would be
coming.
cool. I mean, I'd be
So
down for that as well.
um, but I would not. I think we have to do like I think by the end of this year we should get together and do a ranking of the year of these companies and maybe drivers and stuff like that. But TLR is definitely high on my list of companies that I just think are gonna make major moves because they just have the most money behind them.
Yeah,
And
exactly. That's that. It's
um
just that, really.
and they we thought they were getting
But I
out of
think
racing,
I
but
think they
obviously they're
have a
back
decent
into it.
brand though. I
Yes,
think
I
the TLR
agree.
has a
I
decent
agree.
brand. They have one of sort of like with Associated, they have sort of one of the strongest brands in my
Hmm.
opinion, in America at least. In
And
Europe,
we're gonna
Mugen and Kyosho have a bigger one, but it's a bit different.
yes, and I'm going to stoke that beef fire as much as I can between
Yeah.
TLR and AE and Mugen because I think it's AE Mugen versus TLR.
Yeah.
Um, and that's this. I'm super excited for silly season, and I'm super excited for what's coming up in 2022. And it's going to be interesting to see.
Also like Mayako. Who does Mayako sign?
Hmm.
What's gonna happen? Also RCGP, which
Hmm.
teams are gonna attend?
Yep.
Because as it looks like now, it's definitely going down.
Hmm.
So all that this silly season will be really cool in my opinion, and the Tekno and the explosion inside the team, does that happen, does it not, how
Yeah. Who
everything goes
goes
down.
where? Like
Yeah,
we pretty much have a feeling that we know Seth. Oh, where does Seth go? Where does he go? People are like we could go anywhere. Yes, he probably can, but he has to. He can go anywhere that will give him a free car. He has to go somebody that's gonna go where that's gonna pay him a paycheck. You know what I mean?
yeah, but even like I get that he wants the paycheck, but
Hmm.
Seth doesn't want to go to a company that will pay him to drive a shitty car,
That's
because he
true
won't
too.
get the results. His contract will run out, and that's it. You
You'll
know?
fit like this is what people don't understand. There's been plenty of 18, 19, 21 year old fast guys in RC that have chased that paycheck because that's what they want to do, and that's cool. But then when they realize that it don't come, or they make that final mistake and they go to a brand that isn't the best, that's it. Like that's the nail in the coffin, and they fizzle out and they go into real world. I don't want to see that happen to. I don't want to see that happen to Seth.
Because at every step of the way, apart from Kyosho, Lutz made that exact decision. Well, I don't know if he went for the money per se, but he made the going for the money move, which is like going to the shitty brand. But I don't know if he
not shitty. I don't know if the no name. Let's not say shitty. The no unknown like brand,
non-proven and like no sort of promise brand. Because there are brands like, let's say, TLR in 2006 in 8 scale, that was a non-proven brand, but it had a lot of promise. So you would want to go there at that point. Well, at that time it was Team Losi, obviously. In 8 scale, they were big in 10 scale beforehand. But like Lutz raced for Tamiya in 8 scale. He raced for Durango after that. Then Tekno. And
Tekno wasn't big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
At that time, Tekno was nothing really. Like obviously it had a car, it had a business, but it wasn't anything it is today. So
Tekno has just made some big moves too. Just like if it's true what we heard about Barufalo.
I can't understand how they don't run out of money doing this.
I just think that they're one of the team. I think they're one of the companies that are really doing well in America, and they kind of focused on that, and now they're going to focus out into they advertise a lot. They give. I know. Look, I am not just saying this because they sponsored the podcast, because I've actually been to the races and watched them. They have a team atmosphere. People enjoy that. They do that coin thing, which I think is really cool, where you can challenge somebody else for a coin. Yeah, so they have coins that have numbers on them. So, for instance, like at Icebreaker, I watched. I think it was on the 5150 movie that Corey Drakenberg made. So you can go up and challenge somebody on the team if a higher with a lower number than you. So say you're like 250th, and you will say, "Hey, I'm going up. I want that number 5 coin." You know what I mean? You can go and find that and challenge that person at that race to see who wins and stuff. Like they have little bet. I think that's all cool stuff.
I mean, I dig it. I dig the Tekno team atmosphere for sure. Like I have nothing against. I think what Tekno is doing as a company and how their team is, everything. I mean, I'm a huge fan actually, and I have huge respect for what they've done. I criticize the car a lot, and
because that's the engineer in you.
That's what I'm interested in mostly, but. I gotta give it to them. I've always liked the way they did everything apart from the car.
I'm hearing some young stalwarts who have been with certain teams for many years are branching out on the earn. It's gonna be we're gonna see some partnerships that are broken up here that be like, oh wow, we never would have thought that happened. I think we're gonna see maybe 1 or 2 drivers. Excuse me, sorry. Maybe 1 or 2 drivers doing this part-time. Maybe 1 driver out completely. We don't know. So we're getting excited, and we're getting prepared for it. Lots of Red Bull, lots of coffee, and it's going to be a good silly season. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to be a hot silly season this year? And are we going to get our predictions right? We're not making predictions yet. It's
I love that we really, really hyped it up. Okay, let's make 3. Like Marco is settled. Marco is gone. So let's predict Marco, and let's predict Seth. Well, actually, I don't know anything where even Seth could go. But Marco, let's predict where he probably is going. Let's try to do 3 predictions right now. It's
either Tekno,
we can do
TLR.
We can do let's do a prediction where Marco is going, and then 1 other guy who is going somewhere else, and then some guy who's just leaving and we don't know where. Well, okay, Seth is just leaving, so that's that. But then let's predict where Marco goes, and then some other change.
Well, I'm pretty sure Marco is going to Tekno.
Yeah, I think that's certain at this point. So
but
now
anything can happen. Anything can happen, though. Anything can happen especially after an announcement like this he just made, and who knows what teams are saying, "Hey, we got this for you right now." And I think TLR is one of them. And if AE is smart, they might go after him to team him up with because him and Ongaro are good friends. But maybe Kyosho too.
No, I think Kershaw is done. I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Okay. All right.
That's
but
my take. I think CJ is leaving as well. But let's
yeah, I
let's
think
let's try to do let's do something. Okay, let's do one because we have those two which are pretty much certain. Seth will leave and Marco will go to Tekno.
yeah, but where does Seth go?
I mean, we talked about WRC, but
WRCs because of Send It RC possibly. Um,
yeah,
where does this is the thing? Where does Seth fit in a team?
yeah.
Any
I'd say if he wants to make a salary, WRC is probably his
yeah.
best and only choice in that.
S-Works
Like if
maybe.
he wants to make good amount of money.
S-Works too. I think he'll fit in good at S-Works.
You know what? Actually, yeah, probably something like that.
I hope
like
Arufula does not go to S-Works and just become another cog in the wheel in the European wheel that is S-Works though. I just
no,
thought of
but
that.
dude, like that guy with an S Works, I'd say he's faster than Canas. He drives
Probably,
like
but
Canas, but faster.
I just don't want them. They have all the fast drivers too, and they continue to have them.
But
Think
they don't
anybody's
win.
going to depart?
That's weird. They always
Well,
second or
they win,
third.
and yeah, they do. I think Cav is straight for another year. His contract's up. Yeah, I just don't know where Seth ends up. I mean, Losi and the thing is, like, if you go to Losi, you're gonna have to run 10 scale. If you go to Associate, you're gonna have to run 10 scale.
You know what?
Mugen does not open up their purse strings. That's why Tanner Denny is doing
No.
it part time.
I think the best move for Seth Van Dalen and for the company that would sort of get him would be HB. I don't think HB can afford to pay him like a full salary, but I think HB can afford to pay him a part salary, and then some other company will pay something else. Let's say tire sponsor or engine sponsor.
Mhm.
I think if this was a perfect world, Seth would go to HB. That's my
Yeah.
sort of.
I think Mayako would be a
Well-
good landing spot for him too, but he still has to
I-
prove himself too.
Yeah, to me, like if he went to Mayako, that would be as good or better move as HB. But
Mhm.
I don't know if he has sort of the attitude and the sort of willingness to go to Mayako.
Yeah, because if you
I don't know
whoever the
people.
first
I have no
real
idea.
top driver for Mayako is gonna be like,
Well, I kind of know. Who
it's
it
gonna be
is,
like,
but I will not say.
yeah, I know who it is too, but I'm not gonna say who it is either. But
Yeah.
like that person who's available to people, like, you know how long like people's waited for somebody to not, you know, to drive one of JQ's produced cars like that and are good that can drive it better than him. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like a driver that you know,
Yeah.
a somewhat top driver. I don't think they're
I'd
going to be a
actually,
top
you know
top
what?
driver.
Now that you brought up Mayako, I'd actually wish he would go to Mayako. I don't know the people, so I'm not taking that into consideration. But the way he drives, the place where he is in America, and all that, I think he would fit very well in there. I doubt that Mayako would be able to pay him a proper salary, but I doubt HB would either. But if he goes to HB or Mayako, I'm very, very happy for him either way. If he goes to some other brand, if it's not,
It's gonna be
let's say,
hard.
Mugen or AE, I'm gonna be like, okay, you know.
I just don't see room for him at AE or Mugen either. You know what I mean?
Like I don't
And-
see that
and-
happening really.
And Mugen has
TLR
Drake
could be
and they,
TLR
yes.
could be cool. but
Maybe
that
just
would
an
be better
8-scale
for
specialist.
TLR, but TLR would be better for TLR than it would be for Seth. I think the reason I wanted to go to HB or Mayako is because that would benefit both. So, you know, there'll be sort of HB would have a good driver on top of Cole and some rumored drivers that are going to join. But I think Seth would still be the number 2 in America after Cole. And he would have sort of a good car with him that, to me, at least looks like it would suit his driving style. So I would like to see that happen.
All right, let's talk about somebody that's on the bubble. One more.
Okay.
Maybe
Do
we're
you
on the
have
same
something in
wavelength
mind?
here. Well, maybe on the same wavelength here. Joe Bornhorst.
Wow, that's out of the part. Do you think he would leave? You think?
I think
Do you have some?
that
Do you have some rumors, or is it just a thought?
let's just put some things into play here real quick. So we are only supposed to spend 5 minutes on this, but we've gone over. So he
got
had to
excited.
blow up. He had to blow up with Seth at the Nationals.
He's had
then
that
went-
before as well with the team,
Right,
I
but there was public. Some idiot caught it publicly. I don't know who that was. It was just a mistake. I just happened to catch it, people. Sorry.
Yeah, but that was good. Like that's what you need to do at these races.
But that's what happens
you
after these races. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah,
happens
every time.
So
every time,
I
almost.
think that might have sent some ripples in the force there, and because
But it was,
not that
the
I-
thing is, it was Seth though. Oh no, it was Tyler.
no, it was Seth and Warnhorn and Joe, and then
But
it
the
was
thing is,
kind of
like,
funny
Seth-
because
we're sort of agreeing that Seth will leave. So I would imagine Tekno is taking Joe's side on this stuff.
right. No, I don't know though because they're pretty fair on the board with things like that too. You know what I mean?
They-
And
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
like
I could see that. I can see that.
that like they kind of like that's how they kind of keep the guys straight. And I mean I know like they kind of suspended Seth. Was it Lisher or Lasher for a bit? And I honestly think I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but it's a suspicion that I think Joe actually got suspended after that. He did go to the E Nationals, but I think that was already planned. But if he did not go to Wicked Weekend, and he's just not been. He didn't go to Southern Nats. I don't think, or did he? Yeah, he might have been to Southern Nats.
Not sure, but
yeah, he
he's
did.
been
He
more
did go to
quiet
Southern
after
Nats.
that, though. He's been more
Exactly.
quiet, for sure.
He's been very quiet, and I just don't. I just put that together. See, that's the type of stuff that piques my silly season radar. And then the thing is, the funny thing is that I'm not the only one thinking like that because there are other people like, hey, you don't think it's kind of funny? And I was like, yeah. And I was just, so yeah, Joe was at Southern Nationals.
So what if it is Seth out and Seth and Bornhorst out and Barufalo in?
I don't know where Bornhorst fits in. S-Works?
I can't. TLR, dude. TLR.
Really? And just do 8?
Yeah.
Well, I think he can do 10 scale too. You know what I mean?
But I don't think TLR really
Care that much?
I think
They probably
do
say
care,
we
though.
have
They
Fend
do
and these
care.
young guys to worry about 10 scale.
Yeah.
We want an 8 scale specialist. I don't
They
want to
have
see Joe
Riddick
Bornhorst out of
and
RC.
guys like that.
I want to see Bornhorst embrace his like I'm the asshole at mantra and like use that as a character. Yeah, because I think it's kind of embraced like, I get it. I'm not gonna be everybody's friend all the time. Embrace that and make a character out of it and bring some charisma to RC. It'd be great.
He's definitely a charismatic person. That's no doubt.
Well, you would know all about that because he got almost very charismatic and personal with you. That was just one of those.
I never even talked to him, but he.
Hey, I swear,
Like,
at that moment,
don't
if
know.
I could have disappeared, I would have. But anywho, I think it's just somebody that we haven't mentioned. I mean, I could be saying this and he could still. All right, so Max's camera died. He could still be staying at Tekno because he's just been with them so long, which I hope happens for him too.
Yeah.
So
I can't.
I just
really
don't
see
feel
him going. Like
I-
the fit with Tekno, even if he was suspended, is still better than any other company would be.
I would
for me,
agree.
I feel like.
I agree. But
So-
my there's a disturbance in the silly season force, and my midichlorians are definitely pinging. So I don't
so
know.
our bold prediction is Bornhorst out of Tekno. That's our
Yeah.
really bold prediction.
Yeah.
I'm not backing that, but okay, I'll go with you.
Okay. And I think where we're going to see a lot of shuffling is in tires and engines too.
Yeah,
Maybe not too
tires
many.
will be completely redone. Everyone from AK, I think, will be out.
We're going to see a
and,
lot of younger, fast guys making chassis changes this year.
Yeah, for sure. Drivers like, not Pavidis.
Like Jackson
but
Brunson, I think like
but-
Pavidis. I think guys like that, you're
I
going to see
don't
them
think
move.
Pavidis is going to change. But, actually, now that we talk about this, Hot Race,
Mhm.
does he hang out with Tessman? Does he hang out with
Or does he hang out with
Ogden?
Cole? Yeah,
Exactly.
Here we go.
So, I mean,
We haven't
yeah,
even
I would-
mentioned X-Ray in this whole thing. Like we've completely forgot about that. Seth can go to X-Ray. There's a perfect fit for him right there.
I mean,
But I think where
yeah,
they would
but
get in
no.
trouble is that his dad would bump heads with Gord, and then they would all bump
Yeah.
heads with Martin and not with Martin, with Uri.
Yeah,
I think that would be
I
the issue.
mean, hard to say what's going on with X-Ray.
Mhm.
Really,
We
they
forgot about
are a
them.
bit odd. They're
Forgot all
missing a
about them.
driver in Europe for sure.
They're
They
missing a
have been
driver in
losing drivers.
America.
Well, they
Besides,
have
they have
Ty.
yeah, but they need that double. You know, in this American race, you need that
Jelly was
double edged
actually a
sword.
perfect fit. I wish
know.
they didn't mess it up.
Where does Jalen go?
I don't know. The school?
Maybe.
Hard to say. It looks
Yeah.
like that, but I hope it isn't because he's a really talented guy.
I just think that they're very disappointed with just the level of support that they're getting from Kyosho at the moment. I mean, it's
Oh, I
it's a
mean,
shame. It's a
They don't
shame
get anything.
because
They get support from A main. That's it. I think.
yeah, and it's a shame. I don't. And CJ is such a nice young man, and I don't want to see him out of RC. So
Yeah. And the
hopefully
thing
he
is, like
sticks.
I feel like he likes RC. I mean, one of the smartest guys at that age. He's a few years younger than me, I believe. And
17.
I mean, yeah, I've always gotten like a really smart vibes for him, and I'm a huge fan of him. So I wish he would go into and dude, he's a world's A finalist.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
if he doesn't get a drive for next year, like a proper drive where he can travel to races,
right,
and
I
stuff
want to
like
see
that.
him racing. I don't want to see what happened
Yeah.
with him in the last 2 years. You know what I mean? I want to see him racing.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't want to see I don't want to see RC without CJ
Dude,
Jalen.
we were supposed to be quick with this. We were
I
supposed
know.
to be
So
like
we're
5
gonna, you
minutes.
know what? We're gonna stop at her. We're gonna stop at her. We're gonna stop at her because we get excited, and now we're gonna be. This is could have been a whole other podcast. All right. As you guys know, this podcast is brought to you by Lugs Racing. Lugs Racing has over 55 years of combined RC experience. They have been testing wheels, treads, and rubber for performance. You have the Lugs Econ tires, which are developed with racing budgets in mind. High quality but lower cost means savings that can be passed on to you, the racer. We also have their premium line of tires. They are for pure performance and made using custom lugs molds and their proprietary rubber compound mix that they have. The tires are available in medium, soft, super soft, mega soft, and now in long wear. You can visit them at www.lugs.com and use the promo code NNRC Lugs to save some money. And with that, I'm going to say thank you to all of our sponsors. They are Mayako, Beach RC, TNR Fuels, Hitec RC, Tekno RC, Sun City RC Raceway, obviously Lugs Racing Tires, Donathan RC Leads, Donathan RC, best charging leads out there. I love them. I have them over there. I'm going to order some more here. Gonna hit you up, Zach. I need some more. Check them out. We have a coupon code for that. It's in the written description of this podcast. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic. They just released a new compound called Blue. Check it out. You have a promo code that you can save 10% on there. It is NNRC. Racecraft USA. Chasing the Boys. We have a promo code there. NNRC Squad. And, of course, RCGP and House of RC. Max, thank you for your time, dude. It was fun, and we was only supposed to go 2 hours, and we went 2.5. But hey, that's how it goes. Thank you to Berkan Kilic for his time, and I look forward to interviewing his brother Burak. Great, they seem like a very great family. I really want to meet them one day. And who's excited for silly season? This guy. And I can't wait. It's going to be fun to talk about this stuff. And man, it's looking like 2022 or 2022 is 2022. I said 20,000. I'm way ahead. 2022 is going to be a very busy RC year if COVID doesn't mess it up. And I am super freaking excited about that, man. And I am excited for Christmas and all that type of stuff, and it's going to be a great 2022. I'm glad to have Max on board, more full-time now, and we're going to add some more co-hosts that will rotate in as well with us. We're going to, we're revamping a lot of things at the podcast, and it needs that young, hip stuff. Oh, Discord. Don't forget the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to grow that, and we're enjoying that.
Discord is really great. We just need to get more people to join it. Right now, it's like there's some conversation every day, so it's being good already. Like, let's get more people into it, and
I want to have
really
1,000+ people in there, man. Come on, we got 110 there. Let's get up to 500 people by the end of the year. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Let's get 500 people in our Discord, and you guys will enjoy it. And then the thing is, once we get in there and we can open up more things, we can talk about a lot more things, like you know, and stuff like that. All right, Max, thank you for your time. You know what? Thank you to all of the listeners of the podcast, the NNRC squad. We cannot do it without you guys. We greatly appreciate all of your support, listening, sharing, asking questions. We ask that you continue to do that. Please use our affiliate links. Please use our coupon codes. It helps us out a lot. And, you know, just leave reviews as well. Please leave a review. That's actually how Max got his nickname. And that helps us out too. And that, yeah, he got it off a review. And that helps put our podcast out in the stratosphere more. Don't forget our YouTube channel. Please click and like and sub that. We're almost at 1,500 subs. I haven't really been putting too much effort in this. I just kind of have it as something for people to watch these podcasts. But we're going to be using a lot more video next year as well in our podcast. So we're excited about that. And I just have to say thank you to the patrons of the NNRC. We greatly appreciate your support, and you guys allow me to be able to do this and now help Max come on and do things like this. So we greatly appreciate that. And if you wish to be a patron of the podcast, there will be a link for everything in the written description of this podcast. Max, do you have anything you want to say before we sign out of here, good buddy?
Join the Discord, enjoy life, and get ready for silly season.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? Nitro is the glory. E-Buggy pays the bills. If you ain't grinding and sliding, Lefty and Max are. Oh, he can't give you a salute because his camera died. So yeah. See you later, Max.
I'll do it still.
We can't see you. We can't see you.
You need to trust me, dude.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. Lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.
so bad.